Good evening, everyone, and welcome. I guess it could be afternoon, depending on where you are, to this week's episode of the Comic Book Geeks podcast. I am one of your hosts, JW Sims. We have a pretty full show this week, so I think we're finally here. The whole group is here, so let's just go ahead and start bringing the guys in. First, we have with us Demon Phil. Good evening.
Hey, what's up? We got a full show. I wouldn't say it's pretty, but it's full.
Well, yeah, I guess it's probably not too pretty anyways. We're still, so how you been, Phil?
I am like, I'm up there on 11 on the dial. We're just going to be going there. This is going to be one of them shows tonight. We're going to have some
fun. All right. And then I felt sorry for him, so I let him come back for a second week in a row. Jonathan Freeman Anderson.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so grateful. I'm not worthy.
You should be. You're not. You're not because you never do homework. So.
But I'm funny. I'm funny.
And then the only person that's on the show as many episodes as I am, Specs Thompson.
Woo!
Hey, Specs.
Hey, that's not exactly true. One show I could not get a connection.
Well, you were here. And then you left, and then you came back, and then you were left, and then you went into the chat. So
we had a lot of frozen specs. We had frozen specs.
Yeah. And then we have a fifth guest host with us tonight, coming back by popular demand, my son, Joe. How you doing, Joey?
Yay.
He's muted.
What,
in the car right now. So.
You're in the car.
Yeah.
There's a bright
light. We had to go to Walmart real quick. I was picking up some comics.
Oh yes, take us into Walmart with you. This is gonna be the greatest day ever.
We already went into Walmart.
Walmart
so great.
So y'all, do y'all Walmart still sell the DC and Marvel packs?
Yeah, that's what he buys.
I bought it.
I just bought in my city, but all of them stopped. I don't see it nowhere.
They did stop.
Someone bought them all.
They did.
Yeah,
stop?
I got two packs. The first one that they show on the cover is Venom Lethal Protector and just Venom. And they're both variant covers. So.
Is that the issue number 1 Venom?
Yeah, the new series.
Yeah.
Oh, the new series.
One.
Yeah.
I get better lighting, but I'm in a car, so lighting sucks.
You look like you're being beamed up to the spaceship.
That's what you look like Jonathan last week with the sunlight behind him.
Right. Yeah. I was gonna say you look like you're doing like a shady comic book drug deal.
We're doing this comic book
deal.
We're waiting for Cops.
Yeah,
you're in a bad episode of Cops, is what it is.
That's good stuff.
It's the TVA.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, the TVA. I got the dough. You got the books?
All I want is number 1. It's nothing less.
Nothing less.
Hell gonna be them variants.
You know how hard it is to get this specific comic?
That better be a 9.8. I ain't gonna take no more.
9.8. I was about to say that.
There better be an Amazing Fantasy $9.99 in there.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so the first pack I got was Venom Lethal Protector, Venom issue 3, and the Amazing SpiderMan, and it's Miles in his new costume versus I don't know which SpiderMan this is, but it's the one where he had the spider symbol on the side of his chest, on his neck.
Spider?
Yeah. Yeah, those are the 3 I got from the Lethal Protector pack, and then we're doing like an unboxing thing, I guess.
Unboxing.
Live unboxing right here, guys, of the Walmart packs.
And out of that Walmart pack, I got the same Miles Morales combo 3 times at that pack.
I'm mostly good because it's the easiest way to get the 0-point books, and I'm still missing.
Oh, that's a good point.
That's what he's been trying to get.
Everybody wants this.
Darkhawk. That's another one.
Darkhawk. Yeah.
Oh, Darkhawk. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
At first, that sounded like a really bad porno movie.
It does sound wrong, Darkhawk. It sounds like stunt cock. If you ever see Orgasm.
Pronunciation is key.
Nice.
Symbiote, Spider-Man, Crossroads, and then just Venom.
Another Venom. Nice.
Yeah.
That's our very first live unboxing of comics on the show.
Unprecedented.
Unprecedented. That is
Monumental.
true. Very, very evil. Sorry.
We got Dark JW on tonight.
Yeah, hopefully he don't bomb Big Ben.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I was going to go for Ming the Merciless, but then I decided to.
Oh, that'd been fun. Do like a Fu Manchu thing.
Yeah. So, what kind of news have we? What stories have been in the news this week? Anybody have anything that? Oh, okay. What's Phil got?
I got
Phil's ready to rock.
I kept track of this the entire weekend. I was watching so many videos, reading so many articles. D23 happened this past weekend. It did and did not disappoint. I can go ahead and say that. There were a lot of speculations about what they would talk about, and since they didn't, the Karens came out and said it was the most horrible D23 ever. You know what? They weren't going to tell you about the X-Men and the new Wolverine and stuff like that. That wasn't going to be coming out. Some of the things that are common knowledge that are in there that are big things, things like they talked about going all the way through Marvel Phase 6 and talking about the exact line of movies that are out there and shows, because Disney Plus is going to be running all those in between. Yeah. You're not going to have any time in between. I mean, they're pretty much go from one movie to a show to a movie to a show. It's going to keep you busy. So if you don't have Disney Plus already, grab it before they raise the price on this bad boy, because I have a feeling they're going to. Hopefully they'll grandfather it.
Right now it's $1.99.
Yeah, if you get it now before the 19th, it's $1.99.
Exactly. That is a good point. There is so much going on with everything that's out there. Some of the biggest news that was out there, I'm going to go ahead and bring it up. Daredevil, Born Again. It was asked. They straight up, they were up there on the big panel. Talking about things, and they were asked, is this a reboot or is this season 5? And they straight up said this is not season 5, but they said it is not a reboot, it is a rebirth. And they said, and Charlie Cox was the one who said that. He said, "Pay attention to what I'm saying. It's not a reboot, it's a rebirth." Something is key about what he said in that, and I'm hoping that what I'm reading into it is he'll be wearing the black uniform and taking on the mantle of being in charge of the Hand.
I think it's more like how they did Hulk, how it was the Hulk and Incredible Hulk, but it really wasn't like a remake. It was a reboot. It's just a new movie with less information. Right. But they're basically saying that the events that happened before never happened. So Defenders, all that, it didn't happen in this new series that's coming out here. So he's not going to have the tie-ins with them, except for the new tie-in.
So that
like seeing them again for the first time.
So they're going to say the stuff from Netflix was like variants of them.
See, I'm even beginning to wonder if there's something in there where it's like that was not actually Daredevil that we saw on the other one. That was maybe going in with the Secret Wars thing that they're tying into, because that's
his brother.
Time frame.
Exactly. It's his brother. It's his brother.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, there's things that they could tie into and go away from there. I don't know. There's so much they're not even talking about. And they said they haven't even started filming until next year. But
I think Loki season 2 will fix all of these timeline issues. Every episode could just be them killing off a Netflix series in Loki season 2.
They had so much they talked about. They talked about with Loki. They talked with Daredevil. They talked about Wakanda Forever. They finally told us who's going to be the new Black Panther. We already knew because we picked up comic books. Shuri.
No, Lego spoiled it.
What's
Lego?
Lego spoiled it.
Yeah, they put out a toy. It was Lego's one of them toys. They put out toys with her in full Black Panther costume.
They have Lego has a tendency to always do that. Like spoil.
But I don't know if it's Lego or it's like a Marvel. I don't think Marvel Legends.
No, usually
a toy with her full Black Panther outfit came out.
Yeah, if the Lego toys tend to do that.
So technically, this time it was spoiled by Lego and not Tom Holland. So for once, Marvel was not spoiled by Tom.
But Tom Holland was playing with the Lego set.
Probably.
While reading the script to the movie.
Yeah.
That wasn't the real script, so that he wouldn't spoil the movie he's working on.
He was playing Legos with Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yes.
They're both playing Legos, trying to stay calm.
Yeah.
I will say that they did make several announcements during D23. I thought it was great how they did it. They kept saying Tom Holland is not present at D23 this year. I love how they kept going through that because everybody was just on edge about some of the things they were talking about, and they would immediately come up with, apparently, Tom Holland is not here, so we won't speak anymore about it. And it's like, oh man, this is great. So they're really catering to the fun, with the fans and everything out there. But speaking of Tom Holland, one of the biggest things to D23 this year, 60th year anniversary of the web slinger himself, SpiderMan. They had an amazing panel that was out there. And yes, I use the word on purpose because there is a pun intended for that. Talking about what they did with there, all going throughout the years, all the different variations, different people who have written for it, everything, and then had the greatest video. It's like a 5-minute video that's on there that they did as well. I have it on my channel. I'll be putting it on Facebook and some other ones as well to kind of show off. If you're not a Spider-Man fan, watch this. You will be. I'm telling you, it is done so well. I've seen Marvel movies that don't match up to what the caliber of this 5-minute segment was. Just putting that out there.
That's exciting.
Well, I mean, there was Love and Thunder.
Which bomb. I mean,
Hey, there's nothing wrong with Love and Thunder.
I don't know.
that sounds like an old girlfriend right there. That's nothing wrong with Love and Thunder.
It's not. Hey, I will put Motorcycle Helmet Captain America up against any MCU movie. Just saying.
Yeah, that's pretty close. Yeah, that is. I mean, there's always Fantastic Four, Roger Corman.
That's right. That we never got to see. Well, unless you have a bootleg.
Yeah, exactly.
Or YouTube.
Ben Affleck Daredevil. Let's not talk about Ben Affleck Daredevil.
Hey, that was a good movie.
Well, if they're rebooting Daredevil, if they're rebirthing Daredevil, they could do a whole like Deadpool 2 style like killing off of all the other Daredevils, and just clean up the entire timeline and make it really fun. Jennifer Gardner needs the work, so if they kill her off as Elektra, I'm good with it. I don't know about you, but man, darkest times in Marvel movies has got to be Daredevil with Ben Affleck.
Really, you think?
Oh well, I mean, we kind of expected it's going to be bad when it's what's his face playing Nick Fury, from Baywatch.
Hasselhoff. But I'm talking about. I'm going back before that. Even I'm thinking like
before Dolph Lundgren as the Punisher.
Lundgren with his
Before that,
polish.
That was really bad.
Yeah.
It was really bad.
Oh yeah, there was some back there that you're going, why did I watch this? I mean, the Hulk movie where of course Daredevil shows up in there.
Oh, the trial of the Hulk.
Trial of the Hulk, but you also have Thor up in there.
That looks
that
like
one will scare you, and not in the ways you think.
I mean, it's like his name is Madison with 2 N's and a Y, but not where you think it is. Jonathan has no clue.
But I think your son didn't work out in the drug deal of your comic books.
Yeah.
We're driving right now.
They're driving, so that's why he's.
Oh, we can't get a preview of your town while you.
You gotta go off camera.
He's not driving.
Oh, he's not driving. He can keep talking.
No.
He's waiting for the dealer to pull up.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. He doesn't want to be on camera.
Wi-Fi.
Right.
It looks like a crazy lens flare like TV show like Fringe. You remember that show?
I
the
love
lens
Fringe.
all over the place. Yeah, Fringe is great. That's what the camera is on Joseph right now.
There was something
So
last week. Oh, go ahead, Phil.
Oh, go ahead. I was just going to say they did also have the news about a game that was talked about on there, which is Midnight Suns from Marvel.
Yeah, I like it better now.
What's that?
I like it better now.
It looks awesome. I mean, it'll draw you in. I definitely want to pre-order mine big time. December 2nd comes out. It will not be coming out for Xbox One and PlayStation 4 until next year. So you have to update your systems or you don't get it till next year is what they're saying. But PC gets it on December 2nd.
Oh, good. I have something else besides Civilization to play.
Oh, something besides Minecraft to play.
Yeah, Civilization for kids, but yeah.
So, I mean, I'll definitely, once I get it, I'll be showing off some of my gameplay on there so you can see how terrible a middle-aged man is at playing a Marvel game live for everyone else to laugh at. It's a
Big
great
market for
time.
that.
We're going to have a blast with this.
Well, it's an RPG though, so you might be pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, what does it matter that I have a rocket launcher? Oh, RPG. I got you. Never mind. Okay.
No.
Just don't aim at TV.
So how old were you when you realized RPG meant rocket-propelled grenade?
Well, I played 007.
There you go.
That's it.
Speaking of 007, there was some news about that. The GoldenEye game being reissued, rebooted, remastered.
And they already did that though. That's why I'm confused. It was already redone. It had online play already.
Well, this is an updated one. It's going to be on like Xbox is doing one, and there's going to be one for Switch.
Yep.
Reminds me of Avatar. Right? That's what that reminds me of.
This will literally be the third or fourth time they did it.
Hey,
yeah.
You have Grand Theft Auto 5 that originally came out in the PlayStation 3, and you can still buy it on the PlayStation 5. So
different game, man.
It's also different. It's not the same setup, But like it's the same. Avatar is coming back in the theaters. It's the same idea. We're gonna re-release it again. Yeah. Does the new GoldenEye have any extra features though?
Oh, but I think it's an actual redoing of the game. It's not like just we're gonna take Nintendo 64 graphics and put it on the Xbox.
Yeah,
they did it for and had Daniel Craig face as James Bond.
I've never seen that.
So now Pierce Brosnan is no longer the video game Bond.
Yeah, it was Daniel Craig, and instead of chopping.
But why would it be GoldenEye then? Because he's not in GoldenEye.
But he's James Bond, so it was Daniel Craig face.
Not anymore.
Instead of chopping, you punch, and you can do submissions like quiet takedowns. And they already redid it, and it was a good game though. It kind of felt like Call of Duty. It was a good game. Like
that sounds awesome. I want to do a cheat code to beat Idris Elba. Can I do that?
Exactly. Yes.
They probably already modded it.
Yep.
Yeah.
But y'all need to YouTube that. Like they already made it.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
Cause it was a crappy one back in GameCube. Y'all remember that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then this one I'm talking about came out maybe 360, maybe Xbox One. I'm not sure, but yeah.
I will have to investigate that.
You guys know about Avatar being re-released in theaters?
Nobody cares about them.
Yeah, nobody cares about Avatar. Don't you realize?
No, I'm just saying, but that's like how people might consider GoldenEye getting re-released again.
Have you seen
I don't care.
Or the movies they dropping? Have you seen that?
The Disney ones?
Oh yeah.
Avatar. They got all their movies lined up, and I think the last one stops 2029.
Yeah, who cares?
2030.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And it's gonna take you 24 hours to watch all the movies.
Yeah. It'll be VR then.
No, I'll just have to plug myself in and become an oversized Smurf at that time anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're gonna have tail sex.
Or that thing from Wiley. People in the chair, remember that?
Yeah.
I just want the Big Mac thing. That's what I want.
I love Fern Gully too. Remember that movie? Before there was Avatar. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you mean the animated Avatar?
Yeah. Don't kill the rainforest. There's people in that.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. We lost him. I'm so sorry.
You know what movie they should?
Yeah, right. He got pulled over. He's got to trade comics to get out of a ticket.
Page Master.
Page Master.
Yeah, remake that.
Oh yeah. Well, Macaulay Culkin come back as like one of the three like wizards or whatever that helps him out.
He comes back as an ugly book.
As an ugly book, yeah.
The ugly book.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
No, that's perfect.
So, Phil, last week you weren't here, and I led off with some AEW news. but you weren't here. I figured you were the only other person that would enjoy that. But I just saw some other news. There's a big stink about the PWI has just released their top five, their 500.
Yes.
And John Moxley and Seth Rollins are not in the top 10.
They are not in the top 10. I saw that list and I was like, wow, that's a slap to the face.
Yeah. And everyone else is like, I have no idea who you're talking about.
Yeah. Big E made it. Big E made it on that top 10, but not Seth Rollins, not Moxley. I saw that.
Yeah. I was like, what is that? Yeah. And how AEW has removed the Young Bucks and
yes,
Kenny Omega from the ad for the upcoming pay-per-view.
And how CM Punk has taken a 8-month hiatus. He has been relieved medically to go ahead and take off during the hottest part where he was getting all the heat from all the stuff he was starting in the locker room, and all of a sudden he's got 8 months off for medical.
Yeah, so we'll see.
His name to CM Country.
Oh yeah. So we'll see how AEW shakes out here in the next few weeks. I know tonight they have they're continuing the tournament for the crown a new champion.
Exactly.
And next week we'll actually have that championship match. I think it's going to just go back to Moxley, which is
well, James. I mean, since you brought it up, I can go ahead and bring up some news on my end if you want me to go ahead and do a reveal here for the first time ever.
Right ahead. You can announce your big announcement here on the show.
All right, just found out, and it is official as of today. I will be teaming up with John Crowther. If you're not familiar with his name out there, he's done some wrestling books mixed up with some wrestlers out there, some comic books and things like that. Huge affiliation into there. He and I will be doing a wrestling show that will be starting up the beginning of October. We will be having some big name people on there from back in the day all the way up till current. We've got some great ones on the roster already, and we're just getting started. This is going to be a fun-filled show, and it is going to be fan-oriented. I cannot stress that enough. This is not one of those where we go, we just want to bring this person up here because it's fun to have. We want to bring somebody out here who has energy, excitement, and passion within the industry to show off that wrestling is still alive.
Will chairs be thrown?
I cannot confirm nor deny said statement.
I will on the episodes. If I am ever get to be on an episode, I will definitely be the heel on that episode.
Oh, perfect.
So it's why I was practicing.
With the beard and mustache like that, you have to.
Yeah.
I'll just be clotheslining. I'll be running back and forth, just clotheslining.
I don't know if that's a clothesline, John, but all right.
Yeah. You want to run into my hand?
That's whenever they first start out in wrestling, they have to do that move that way. Just run into my arm. I don't have to move.
Just run.
No.
As they get older, that's the easiest move.
I'll tell you what the worst thing is when you start learning wrestling is running the ropes.
Oh, bouncing off the ropes?
Yeah. You know what those ropes are, right?
I'm guessing they're just trampoline springs.
No. You know that there's like metal cables that you'll see like stretched across things, and they're like there's big thick metal cables.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That's what they are with tape around them.
Yeah.
Is it talking about the braided wire stuff?
What?
The braided wire metal?
Yes.
wire?
Yeah. The big thick braided wire. That's what wrestling ropes are. And they're pulled tight, and you just have to run back and forth. So by the time you leave, your whole sides look like hamburger.
So when I put somebody's neck on a thing and jump on it, it really hurts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's
not only that, but think about whenever they get wrapped up in those ropes and they have their arms up there and they're wrapped in there. They're in pain. They're not playing around at that point. They are actually in pain.
What about turnbuckles?
Turnbuckles have the metal.
The metal turnbuckle in it.
In there, yeah.
That's what the wire.
When they take the padding off.
Yeah, and it's like knuckles going together, and it's got bolts in there to hold that up there.
So when you hit that with the padding, it still hurts.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So when they take it off, they actually bleed. Yes.
Yeah, it's only a little thin pad usually that's like wrapped around there and zip tied on.
Y'all making wrestling so more painful because I'm thinking of all the stuff I used to see.
It is painful.
Off of it and all kind of stuff.
Sports medical doctor, whatever they're called, will tell you from all the different sports, wrestlers come back with more injuries, more severe injuries than any other sport.
Yep.
But it's fake.
Oh,
Well,
it is
it's
scripted.
rehearsed.
Oh,
It's scripted. You know, it's scripted.
You know
Which
who
is like,
Yeah.
It's well, not to take too much away from the show tonight and everything, but it's scripted, but it's also based on crowd.
Yeah.
If crowd sways an entirely different direction than what they're going for on the script.
Hulk Hogan versus The Rock at WrestleMania.
Exactly. That is a perfect example because it was supposed to go the other way, and because of the crowd going the way that they were and going nuts with it,
Hogan became the good guy. The
Yep.
Rock became the heel. So.
Yep.
that's called extreme improv, what you guys just described there. Remember when we were talking about it earlier? I mean, it's like, can I get a suggestion from the audience, and then you get punched in the face. Yeah, that's what that is. Extreme improv is what wrestling is.
I guess last wrestling question. So y'all think The Rock was better as a heel or as a?
Every wrestler is better as a heel.
Yes.
They're more fun.
Well, they have more freedom.
Yes.
You could, when you're a baby face, you have like this stuff that you have to like stick to. You can't do, but when you're a heel, you can do whatever. Your character can do whatever, can say whatever.
Which is exactly why John Cena did not go any further than he did. He kind of just fizzled out because he would never go heel.
Yeah.
If he would have gone heel, he would.
Everybody wanted him to.
Yeah.
Look at Hogan. Hogan was like terrible.
No, what was Steve Austin then?
He was a tweener, is what they call him.
Okay, he never was a heel.
No, he's a
he
tweener.
He was the introduction to the Attitude Era. I mean, he was the man for
the anti. He was an anti-hero.
So you picked Steve Austin over Generation X.
Well, if there wasn't no Steve Austin, there would never be a D-Generation X.
He made knee braces cool. I'll tell you that about Steve Austin.
And he made bald heads and bald heads.
Yeah, bald heads and cracking cans against your head became such. In my middle school, man, we were just crushing it with the knee braces and the beer against that. Really good idol. Just such a big influence on me. I became.
What? I can't see a thing right now, but I look just like him. So whenever I walk around in nothing but my jean shorts and walk around, I am Stone Cold Steve Austin. Just throw me a beer and hope that I can get it because I'm blind as a bat right now and it's probably going to hit me in the head.
That is like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now you are the same as him. Yeah.
Where you at, Joe? Where you guys still driving?
Yeah, we're at a gas station right now.
Which gas
station?
Are
you guys doing multiple drops on your drug deals?
Oh, I was gonna say if it was Sheets, I wanted you to go get me some chili cheese hot dogs, but
we were there earlier in the day, so
I want some chili cheese hot dogs.
Oh man, now I'm hungry for chili cheese hot dogs. What the hell?
You gotta get me some Sheets. I'm the only person. We're the only two that know what Sheets is. So
are y'all hedgehogs?
Oh yeah.
What?
I always forget that Sheets is like a Pennsylvania thing.
Yeah.
Like Sonic the Hedgehog. He likes.
Yeah, we have Sonics.
Oh, there you go.
No, Sonic, the video game character.
The character likes chili cheese dogs.
Yeah.
Oh, he likes cheese. I didn't know that. I don't. My knowledge of Sonic the Hedgehog ends at Sonic 2, so maybe Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles. Maybe that was
the video game or the movie.
It's the game. I've never seen a Sonic movie.
Oh, okay.
Either, so.
Yeah.
So you never seen the animated version?
Oh, I think when the kids were little, they used to watch it.
Okay.
We used to watch Sonic Underground as a kid. I know that.
And we used to have that Sonic. What was that game?
Sonic Unleashed for the PS2.
That one too, but you had the other one too, like where you raced.
Sonic Racers, I think it was, where you had like
Sonic
surfboards.
Teams or something.
Like
yeah, like it was like you had the surfboards or the hoverboards.
Yeah, I can't remember what that one was called.
Anywho.
Riders?
Sonic Riders. Yeah, that's it.
I didn't play that much. I don't remember. I wasn't good at
it. Was Sonic Avengers 2. Back on Dreamcast.
The Sega Dreamcast. That was the system. If Sega wouldn't have crapped the bed, like of that generation, that was the first one to come out, and I still think it was better than a PlayStation 2.
It was. It ran better.
Yep.
It ran so much better. Like, what game I had? Marvel's Capcom 2 and 1 played better.
Yep.
Yes.
A lot of the games. Do you remember, like, I think Nemesis? Is that the Resident Evil game that originally came out for?
Yes.
Is that 2?
It was Nemesis, so it was like 3.
2 was on there too.
Yeah.
2
but,
and Outbreak.
So I care less about Outbreak.
Well, I remember. See, I like it because it's online play. See, you know.
But
I keep sneezing, so I'm trying not to.
You missed our little
Fighting Force. I played that.
What?
Fighting Force.
Oh, or Crazy Taxi.
Yeah, Crazy Taxi. Well, to me that ran better on PS2.
But it came out on Dreamcast first.
Yeah, but it ran better on PS2 though.
Yeah.
You guys remember Sega CD?
Yes.
The heartbeat.
I had a Sega CD. Every time I watch hockey on ESPN, because I had ESPN Hockey Night, like for the Sega CD, and it had that same music. So every time I hear that, that's like that game comes back into my head.
All right, Sega CD or Sega Saturn?
Sega CD.
No, which one better?
Oh my God, Sega Saturn was amazing though. The graphics were great. I wish that got popular. The graphics were beautiful, but like
Sega had a tendency to crap the bed. Like they just did not want to make systems. They just wanted to make arcade games in Japan.
Do you remember Neo Geo?
Yes.
We don't make arcade machines anymore.
Yeah, but like where you could like select like all this. What, Joe?
They don't even make arcade machines anymore. They make slot machines.
Yeah, that's what Sega makes slot machines. Right? What slot machines?
No, that was Nintendo.
Yeah.
Well, Game Gear was like the last Sega system that I think really had any success for them.
I feel like. Handheld?
Yeah, that's the handheld. And my parents got me an Atari Lynx. Like the last Atari thing was like this Atari Lynx. And then instead of Game Gear, I got the Lynx. I was like so pissed. You know, and they're like, no, the salesman.
The sad part was Game Gear came out the same time as like Game Boy, and there was no competition. Like a Game Gear was a Sega Genesis in your hand.
It was amazing. Sega Game Gear destroyed all the other.
What's crazy, growing up, everybody knew had Game Gears. Like nobody had Game Boys. I mean,
nobody had Game Boy.
Game Boys.
Well, but I guess we're running off topic.
Yeah. Well, but I'll say one last thing. I rented that video game Sonic and Knuckles on the Sega Genesis so many times that by the time like my birthday came around or Hanukkah or whatever, when it was time for the getting gifts and stuff, and they got it for me, I was like, I'm good. I rented this shit. I played it so much, man. You know,
I've already beat it.
Oh yeah, and last question: is Tails a girl or a boy?
Yes.
Non-binary.
Non-binary. There you go. All right, that's good.
But no,
Tails
is a dude though. His name is Miles.
Miles. Yeah.
Okay, now it all makes sense.
Not Miles.
Go get the rings.
But so we should probably move on to the whole point of our show.
Oh yeah, news. We're talking about comic news. So like Batwoman, right, got canceled, the movie, right? But they didn't tell the merchandise department at DC apparently. So like there's all these new Halloween costumes of Michael Keaton's Batman that are being released anyway. You know, I'm like, and Michael Keaton just won an Emmy, and I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, man, he has got to be simultaneously like so happy and so pissed about all the news going on in his career. Like, oh, thanks for the Emmy. Can you put the movie out that I really was in and enjoyed doing?
They was posting, some of the actors was posting pictures too.
But the good thing is,
he looks great.
I
saw those pictures.
Since they put out the costumes and it's his, I bet you he'll get money for that.
Oh, he'll get royalties.
Royalties for him. So he's happy either way.
He can be pissed every day. He goes to the bank and cashes those checks. He'll be fine.
I'm sure he could show up in costume.
Which, you know, but if I could speak tonight, it would be good. But Michael Keaton is also a fellow Pittsburgher, just so you know.
Oh, there you go. And in other Batman-ish news, Danny DeVito thinks he's a better Penguin than Colin Farrell.
That's tough.
Yeah, they hooked up Danny DeVito to a lie detector, and they asked who he thought was better, and he goes, "I don't want to say anything. He's a good kid, but I'm
yes.
better." That's a good choice.
Until the TV show come out.
Burgess Meredith is the Penguin.
Yes.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yep.
Don't go in there, Rocky. Bam! That would be a whole different Rocky if they did the Bams and the Pows with Burgess Meredith going, in the
And
corner
he
with
would
his little
come
cigar.
out with the cigar.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's going to be something else they announced, like Rocky Reborn. Yeah.
Rocky
Really?
Reborn.
Oh, I don't even want to think of that. All right.
He's not looking good. Stallone is not looking.
I don't know, man. He looked good in
Samaritan was
Samaritan.
badass. I'm telling you right
And
now.
that new show that he's on
Oh,
one
yes,
of the
on
streaming
Paramount.
services. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh
He
yeah,
looks good in that too. So
Tulsa King.
Yes.
yeah, Tulsa King. Yeah. So
It's gonna be like Goliath though. Like how many people watch Goliath?
Yep.
Remember that?
yeah.
Yep.
But the thing with streaming, like those kind, and not Netflix, or Prime, that's one of the things I want to talk about is Prime canceling Paper Girls already.
That was quick.
Sure.
But the creators of the show are shopping it around, hopefully getting it picked up. If I had the money, I'd pick it up because
Well, they didn't market it good. Like
It
besides you and some other people on social media, like I wouldn't never do without.
Yeah, I don't think like Prime only promotes the things like certain things. I'll be going through. I was like, I didn't even know this was on here.
Yeah, I know Jack Ryan's on there, but I didn't know. Excuse me, the Fairley Brothers show was on there.
Yeah,
you guys know that Fairley Brothers show?
Yep.
With the dude from The Office.
Yeah.
Louder Milk. Louder Milk is a hilarious show. If you guys haven't seen that yet, it's probably one of the funniest. And Will Sasso is on it too. It's probably one of the funniest shows that nobody knows about because they don't advertise it on Amazon.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's weird. But we should move on to our book reviews for the week.
Yes, evil James with his mustache.
Yeah. I can't like find it or I would twirl it. It's so hard when you're like looking at yourself.
I feel like you need a monocle and a top hat. You should be talking to us like the character from Hanna-Barbera.
Do not pass go. Do not click 200.
Yeah.
I think your son's getting attacked by Freddy Krueger.
Dude. Just keeps like
Joseph's running. You want to? I love it if he turns his mic on. He's like, "And I'm all alone here, guys. I don't know where the witch is. I can't see her."
He starts crying.
I hear children running, and there's laughter everywhere.
Now, where are you, Joe?
In the house.
Oh, it's
He's
your
down
house?
in a cabin. He's inside a cabin.
No.
Oh, I thought you were home.
Not mine. We're on his reality
and you
show.
Have Bobby's World.
Yeah.
No. Bobby's World.
I had that shirt on last week. No, I didn't.
Well, Bobby's
You have
World.
a Bobby's World shirt?
I'll show you.
That's great.
Oh, I want that. I want Cthulhu to go to Bobby's World. Cthulhu.
Yes.
Cthulhu invades Bobby's World.
Who will be more powerful?
Bobby.
Well, yeah, come
Bobby's. On his tricycle.
yeah. Did you ever hear about how Howie Mandel invented that character?
Yes.
He almost died.
No, I did not know.
Yeah,
this story.
he was at a birthday party when he started choking, and that's how his voice came out. And everyone started laughing. He's like, "No,
Oh, I'm dying here.
yeah.
Wow.
So that's what he said. Anytime he did the Bobby voice, he had to like cut off the wind to his like.
Oh my God, he had to reinvent sleep apnea.
Yeah.
For
I'm pretty sure that's trauma.
yeah.
Yeah, that's one reason why he doesn't do Bobby anymore. So. But anyways,
It was just too tough on him. You know what I mean? They didn't have any stunt Bobbies. You know, people were breaking their necks. So
Y'all, last thing before we go on this week's books. Y'all remember the Louis Anderson cartoon?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love that. With his wild family.
And he's still alive, right?
as far as I know, Louis Anderson's still alive. I mean,
I got some bad news for you, James.
what? Oh, I'm saying it was just recently, wasn't it? Yeah.
We didn't make it.
Yeah.
It was like right after Bob Saget. I remember.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wait, maybe.
No, there's a really wild podcast right now going on with Louis Anderson, Bob Saget, and the voice of the parrot from Aladdin.
Gilbert Godfrey.
I
Gilbert
wanted him to
Godfrey.
figure it out. He likes to drop names all the time.
Yep.
Well, I'm having fun with you guys too. It's fill in the blanks. Mad Libs podcast.
Oh, don't give me any ideas. We can.
Oh boy.
We can do Mad Lib on a podcast.
And the Queen. You forgot about the Queen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. Tip of the hat to the Queen. Rest in peace.
Tipping a hat.
She's the monarch for like everybody's life. Like,
Yeah.
I don't
73 years as the Queen.
Yeah.
And now we got King Charles.
She's probably been in as many comic books as David Bowie at this point.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Well, when we did the whole David Bowie comic book,
Yeah.
remember that giant thing? I was like,
Yeah,
oh man, if somebody did, yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I'm the one who had to like convert that to PDF. I remember.
We should really give you a round of applause for all the PDF conversions you do on a weekly basis.
Yeah,
Thank you for
I have to take it apart page by page. So I don't read every book that I put up there, but I've seen every book. So I know what's going on in every one of those books.
You know the art very well.
Yes. And you can't help but like read little snippets of stuff too while you're going through it. But we've had a couple books series end this week. I noticed. So once we get to those, we'll also like try to maybe give a rundown of that whole series or that mini series, as it were. But I don't. Let me see if I actually can tell which ones, because I just have a bunch of books written down here that I read, so that doesn't help me much. Yeah, okay. So first book we'll talk about, because I'm just going to go down my list, is Dark Crisis #4. It's about halfway point of the big DC Crisis event. They've changed the name on this one to Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths.
I just heard a podcast about why they did that.
Well, I know why they did. If you read this issue, you know why they did it.
Oh, okay.
Storyline wise, but because the I don't know if we haven't talked about it in a little while, but we had theories of what was going on here, and in this issue, Flash and Hal Jordan, were traveling through the different worlds. I guess the best way to do it. Pariah has actually captured the Justice League. They're not dead. And he has them trapped in their own worlds, which we kind of figured out from the Superman book, where he got to be there when Jonathan grew up and became Superboy. And then there was another book like that we just read not long ago. I don't remember which one it was, but so he has them captured, and he's using their power to bring back the multiverse. So that's why we are now at the end of the issue. We finally find out why it's Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths. So I guess DC is trying to correct some mistake that they made how many years ago, and decided, if we have all these universes, we can make a bunch of stories and they don't need to connect, and we can just say it's on a different Earth.
So it's like the aliens from Dark City have taken over DC and have put everybody to sleep, and they're rewriting all their previous episodes. You remember Dark City?
Yeah.
You know, and they rewrite everything when everybody goes to sleep. And so that's the DC Dark Crisis. That's my knowledge.
So is Infinite Frontier still going on?
I don't know. There's so much stuff going on. Like, they also have this other book. It's like Teen Titans, but something else. Teen Justice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it's in the multiversity.
Nobody likes that book. No, nobody likes that one.
Yeah, it's confusing. But yeah. So
the only reason they made it, because I think that's where Kid Quick comes from. Is it Kid Quick?
The little Flash with the yellow Flash or whatever.
No.
It's not Kid Quick universe.
I don't know. I don't read that book, because I looked at it once. I was like, yeah, this isn't.
Yeah, I think the only reason they did it was for that the Flash that's part of a Future State. I think that's where she came from.
That makes sense. Because I noticed we're finally starting to get into that Future State stuff.
But with that being said, though, like I said, is Infinite Frontier still going on? Because that Justice League with the
oh yeah, I haven't seen an issue of that in a while, where they had like the Batman from the '60s or whatever.
Yeah,
with all the different.
yeah.
Right, all the different other Justice League.
What happened to them?
Yeah. I have no clue.
And like I said, I'm still waiting to see Deathwing. I'm still waiting on that.
Yeah, because who knows? Now it makes no sense because didn't the Teen Titans Academy kind of go away?
Yeah, and one thing I don't know, did any of y'all read Batman?
In between.
So okay, I just had to read Young Justice for a TikTok video, right? So in there, Red Robin, he turns to Drake, right?
Right.
When the hell did he turn back to Robin? like during the series, he just boom back with it Robin uniform. Like
a couple years ago, I remember DC said that they were like kind of doing away with continuity, so things can happen in one book and not affect another book.
Sounds like a cop out, but yeah.
It fit his book though, because he changed back in the costume mid-series. Like,
yeah, who knows?
You wanted a wardrobe change.
Like but with that being said, making it all fall back. In Future State, he's Robin Eternal, and now I see why he is Robin and not anybody else, because Damian thing, and whoever else is Robin at the time, they go away. But Tim Drake always stays Robin because he's the only one that picked Robin as his name, and the only one that didn't feel no regret or did anything towards Bruce. You know, he technically stood by Bruce that whole time.
It looked like Joey just reached up and turned off Phil. Like Joey reached back like this, and then Phil's thing ticked off, and then Joey reached back.
Hey, let me back on. What's up with this?
So
there we go. He turned it back on.
Oh, there we go. So with Dark Crisis, obviously now we said like the Justice League is not dead, so that whole thing, and there's a dark force that's like controlling Deathstroke. So we'll see what's going on. The Darkness, I think they're called. So,
I love that band.
That Texas Blood was one of our books this week. Issue number 17. So
they can stop putting that in the vote.
Did you read it? Your big gripe is you don't understand this. They give us the background for that, for the whole like cop shooting thing. So we understand that now.
Yeah.
But it was so lackluster.
Yeah, I was like wah wah.
Wah, wah. But so we're still building up to this, like this happy face killer guy. I don't know what you call him, because I don't think. What they call him, the Red.
Oh yeah, the guy who broke in the house.
The Red Queen or something. But anyways, the last scene, the last picture of the whole issue is the most important one. And
so the guy's dead. I mean, because I gotta wonder. There's headlights under snow.
No, that's
No, that's a house.
Yeah, it's the house. The guy is
in the background.
He's waiting in the house, and there's the lady and Red who are in the car going up. Now, down below all them, there was something else from an earlier issue.
Oh, I see. I thought that was a car covered in snow.
It's a truck. It's the rig that they
okay.
I
was close.
Abandoned alongside of the road, and it's parked.
So maybe it all makes sense now. All the kids and all that.
That's a different book.
All right, my bad.
He hasn't read the books.
Yeah, I know. He doesn't read them. He just. So did anyone else read that Texas Blood number 17?
So back in that issue, was somebody in that truck?
No. It was like
okay.
And they were trying to figure out who it belonged to and all that. And the name, the sheriff or whatever said the name sounded familiar, so he was trying to and they kind of like just dropped that. So well, they didn't drop it. It's just, how they like to put things off. They give you little things and then they.
But yeah, see that little tidbit is cool, but the whole thing with him and his partner, I wish there was more to that story. It just seemed like such a one-off thing, though.
Anticlimactic.
But it seemed like only thing I picked up from it, the newspaper or reporters, they twisted the story. That's about it.
Yeah, where they said that like he saved the day, where he really didn't. Like,
what isn't the picture of newspaper? Isn't that different now? Because before it wasn't him shooting, but now it's him like with little emergency blanket on.
Oh, I didn't even. Maybe it's a different.
The very last, like after the ending.
They always put stuff in there like.
They always had him shooting the guy on every end of the book, but now it's him like leaving the crime scene with the little blanket on and like the guy in the background getting covered up and stuff.
Yeah, so we'll see. I'm sure this storyline probably has another issue or so to go before we're done with that storyline.
So let me get this straight. So the cop sold the guy's house and basically kicked his own brother out of their mom and pop's house. And then the guy shows up in his colonial or his like Confederate garb or whatever it is and kills his own brother over like a renter's dispute. Is that
kind of? Yeah, like he kicked him out because he sold the house. He wasn't
right.
It seems like there's more to the story.
Yeah, it's like I'm going to teach you how to grow up because you're not trying to do anything because you're living here for free at our parents' house. So I'm going to sell the house and kick you out, and make you grow up, and grew up with a shotgun.
Texas soap opera right there.
Yeah. Trying to think what was another. Oh, see, I wish I would have wrote down what the group books were.
The Avengers. Did you guys read? How did you guys like the Avengers?
All Out Avengers.
All Out Avengers. Yes. All Out Avengers issue number 1. This is a mini series. I can't remember how many issues. I probably put it in 5. If you read the little interview at the end, they talk about how this book drops you right in the middle of the story. So you have like no pretense to. You're like, what is going on? And in the interview, the writer says about he just remembers when he was younger, when he was a kid, and you would go and pick up a comic book at your local, convenience store or newsstand or whatever, and you were always in the middle of a story when you got it. So, you would have to read that story, and then maybe if you got lucky enough, you'd be able to like find some back issues to try to like fill in your gap. But if not, you're starting there and moving forward, and I just remember. It's like that's how I was when I'd pick up my first X-Men comic. It was in the middle of the story, and I had no idea what was going on. Mm-hmm. But and so that's what they're trying to do. But there's that little thing where somebody's actually like controlling them. If you've noticed that too,
the Dark Tide.
Well, no, there's somebody. All the narration is done by somebody who's controlling them. So I don't know if it's like. So I had a couple theories about who it could be.
So it's not who Miss Captain Marvel mentioned, not that person?
No, because that was the lady. No, it's somebody because you see that scene with Blade, and he's like, "Do you remember how we got in here?"
Oh, right, yeah.
And then the thing says, "Oh, we can't have this happen. We have to." And so then he's like,
"Yeah, Captain America's my favorite."
Yeah, so. There's a couple theories I had. I don't know if any of you guys had made up theories yet, but my main theory is it's going to be Mojo because it's kind of like that kind of stuff with the X-Men and like how he would.
I like where your head's at. I'm going to say Arcade.
Yeah,
that's another one. Arcade, yes.
But see. This is like really the only Avengers book I really like because it's typically so much dialogue, and
this drops you right into the action.
Yeah, with the interview, he said it's supposed to be like nonstop Spider-Man. I did not like nonstop Spider-Man, but I like this, and I think the little things you mentioned is where if you're reading a regular Avengers book, that's where they would do some kind of dialogue, backstory, explain that. But whoever doing this, cutting it out. So there'll be a point in a regular Avengers book that Blade would have thought back, oh yeah, we was fighting this person, this happened, it'd be like 3 pages of dialogue. But this book, he cut it out. So I guess they playing with that.
And if you notice, there was a couple other little hints of stuff like Spider-Woman was not in her current Spider-Woman outfit.
Yeah.
No.
She was in the old, like the classic outfit.
Red and yellow, right?
Yeah.
So
And the one she has now is not like that. Like
I
in her book.
In my complaint of this one book, they made Spider-Man basically Butters from South Park.
oh,
You
yeah,
know,
I'm a pirate.
I'm a pirate.
I think they made him like Tom Holland. That's just what it came off to me.
Going back to what you said about Spider-Woman, who was writing this, how they said Captain America's my favorite. They probably making Peter the teenager Peter, not the adult Peter now too.
Because
exactly.
that was the best part when he's like, I'm driving a ship, and and T'Challa's like piloting, and then he's like, then later on he's like, I got to fly a spaceship. No, you didn't.
Took away control so he could do the evasive maneuvers and not have to worry about him.
Yeah.
Wait, could say again?
Okay, going back to the interview, they said the current team, Spider-Man's not Avenger right now.
I know.
Right.
He's on the bench.
Yeah.
And
neither Spider-Woman.
Yeah, it's supposed to be She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Thor.
Well, in the next, if you look in the back and they have like the thing for next issue, She-Hulk's in it, and it has something with Doctor Doom. So I have a feeling each one of these issues are going to be like this story where it's going to drop us right in the middle of it, and so it'll end. And the next issue will not have anything to do with like storyline wise. It's not going to have anything to do with each other, but the overarching thing with this person, whoever's controlling this narrative, is going to be.
They tease like Iron Man might, become like, this weird, spiky iron version of himself.
Right.
Yeah, but they killed the queen, so.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, so it doesn't matter.
The whole story resolves itself at the end.
It feels like a superhero squad. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just supposed to be like,
It does, but I want to bring up a point on here. Alex Ross interiors.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we've seen that clean, that crisp, that style there. So it really draws you in with that. And usually you get Alex Ross, cover every once in a while, but the actual interiors.
Wait, he was an artist?
I thought Greg Land did the art on that.
No, it said Alex Ross interiors.
No, you're thinking of the Fantastic Four book.
The Fantastic Four one, he did.
Yeah, full circle.
It didn't look like Alex Ross's art, but I did like the art in the Avengers.
Yeah, Greg Land was the artist on.
That's what I was trying to say. It's Fantastic Four. Why are you talking about this one?
It's all good, Dr. Doom.
Yeah. So we'll have to see how the next issue plays. My other theory is that instead of Mojo, maybe it was like, do you remember that game that they had out? Oh, what the heck? Where they
Arcade's Revenge.
No, this is like a mobile game that's out now, and it has
Champions.
Yes, is it the Game Master and the?
Oh right.
Well,
Marvel Strike Force.
Oh, that's what
Contest of Champions.
Contest of Champions. What he's talking about, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the good game, not the Strike Force.
Yeah.
Hey.
Contest of Champions. The fighting game.
I still play Strike Force just for fun. I maxed out Wolverine.
So how much you have to pay?
No, I haven't paid anything. I haven't done it. I haven't paid for shit. I just keep, the long way. Hey, do you guys remember Onslaught? Remember the Magneto? Could he possibly be the one messing with the Avengers?
No, he's already gone. He's already gone.
Yeah,
X-Men, he's already been there, done that.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, there's no character that's ever really gone. I mean,
Legion killed him.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, Legion got him.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's a hell of a character, though.
For the time, yeah. The storyline could have been better. Did you ever read that story, Joe? Onslaught?
I never read it, but you've told me the story of it.
With Magneto and
Yeah, with
Xavier's
Magneto
mind.
and Professor X.
And you get Nate, forgot Nate too, X-Men.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Reed Richards' son creates little pocket universes, and then like they reboot the whole thing
With the Image guys doing.
Jim Lee
Yeah.
doing
And then
And big chested
Scarlet Mom becomes
Captain America.
really pointy nose Tony Stark. Like,
Well, that was that's
Speaking of Image, let me see if I can find it.
what's his name? Wilkes Pachalo, or however you say his name, who did the
I got
Iron
all
Man.
all the Onslaught, like that event. I got all the tie-ins, and then I got all the Heroes Reborn stuff.
So do
like,
I have all the Heroes Reborn and then the Heroes Return.
Yeah, to me it was like the way DC did Superman, when he died, and they brought all the different, reversions of Superman. I had to get all of those, the Superboy, Steel, all of it, and so the same thing with this. I was like, I stayed on the series as long as I could, but it got really boring. Like the reboots,
long-haired Superman.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm talking about the Onslaught and Reborn stuff.
Yeah. When they brought them back, like
the Hulk was good though. The Hulk was good.
When they brought back Captain America, the Avengers, Fantastic Four, the good thing they did is they put like these like classic teams together. Because I remember when Avengers came back, that was Perez was on Avengers again.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so that was always cool. And the Kevin Weeks was doing Captain America, so it was pretty good.
I want to say something real quick. So when you were talking about Image Image earlier, when I was flipping through this Spider-Man comic.
Yeah.
You know how at the end of the comic they advertise some of the other comics that they're working on.
Yeah.
They're advertising X-Force, Killshot, and one of the characters on the cover is a character that I read from Youngblood.
Because Rob Liefeld did that.
Yep.
Yeah, Rob Liefeld and Chad Browser, I think, or Brower.
Chad Bowers, yeah, because he did the Youngblood. I can't see it that well.
Yeah, it's because the lighting is awful, but I'm trying to
I still can't see. I see. Who is it, Joe?
It's. I can't really change the lighting because I'm in the living room, but
you can read it.
But who is it? Who is the?
I can't remember his name, but he's the dude he has like the two swords, and he has like the weird padded like thing over his face, and he has like the glowing.
Oh, the one at the corner. That's not Prophet. That's Shatterstar. The one in the corner down here. That's Shatterstar.
Shatterstar.
He's an X-Force guy.
Yeah.
He was in Daredevil too. I mean,
Deadpool.
in Deadpool too.
Yeah, he's a cocky alien.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's in Knights of X now, though, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he's his own grandfather.
How?
You don't know that storyline?
Shatterstar is a really good character.
Okay, Shatterstar.
I'm saying how he is now in the comics. How is he his grandfather? Because
it's kind of like how.
No, I'm going to tell you how, because he is. Okay, so he is the son of Dazzler and Longshot, right? And he's raised in that Mojo world. Well, in a later issue, he is sent back in time in the Mojo world, and Mojo uses his DNA to make Longshot.
Oh, wow. Well, that's fun. That sounds like a Marvel Universe Pam and Tommy.
See, I was thinking more of how I can't think of his name now, but he's the dude in DC who's blue and gold.
Booster Gold.
Booster Gold.
His son is the one who created time travel.
Oh, Rip Hunter.
He goes back in time and he does all this shit, and so he's like basically a time paradox.
Yeah, Rip Hunter. Yeah.
Yeah, with Hunter, because he uses Hunter's equipment, but goes back in time and does all this stuff, and then it's what leads to Hunter making all this stuff and everything, and he's I don't know.
It's
really confusing.
Time paradox.
Just like Fry from Futurama.
It all comes back to Futurama. Let's go. All right. So, trying to think. John, didn't you pick The Boogeyman?
I did. I like The
read it?
Boogeyman. Yes, I did read The Boogeyman.
Did anyone else read The Boogeyman?
I did.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was a good book.
Oh yeah.
You
Solid.
want to tell us about The Boogeyman, John?
Okay, before we start, The Boogeyman or It Was Nobody?
Right. That's the exact same thing I was about to say. It Was Nobody and The Boogeyman have a very similar.
Very similar. Yes.
People under the stairs, dogs on the walls.
Monster that helps the boy. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Did you guys ever see I Know What You Did Last Summer?
No.
Oh, yeah.
No, but I know what you didn't do last week.
Hey, he knows.
Yeah. Thanks, Google Calendar. Well, in I Know What You Did Last Summer, there was like a fisherman with like a hook.
Hook, yeah.
Right. This guy is just missing the hook. Like it's somewhere between that and then the Preacher, Saint of Killers. Like I saw a little bit of that in the idea of the Boogeyman's like design.
Yeah. Speaking of, this is just how my brain works. How earlier we said about how Amazon doesn't do well with promoting their stuff.
Their TV show.
Yeah.
You know that show that I Know What You Did Last Summer show? I was watching something and I seen the ad and I was like, oh, that seems cool. When's it going to be on? And I looked, I was like, it was on last year. I never even knew the stupid.
No, it was on like 3 years ago.
Like I'm like, how did I never know about this show? Like, why do I just see an ad for it now?
So I got in that conversation about Neil Gaiman and Sandman, and I was like, oh, did you see Good Omens? And they're like, oh, what are you talking about? I'm like, are you kidding me? You haven't seen Good Omens? This is an awesome show.
Yeah.
And that was, obviously, something that like in my mind went totally under the radar for a lot of people.
They hyped it like right before it come out, and then once it came out, you never heard it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
the effects were good. The writing was good. I recommend Good Omens to anybody.
And season 2 will be coming.
Oh, good. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
How many books in the Boogeyman?
I don't know. I did not see anywhere. So maybe it's we'll go until
no, can I get a story? We all read it. Can you guys help me? The weird, creepy old woman goes to the bus stop and she talks to a real person who has a demon in them or something.
Well, I think she puts the demon in them.
There.
Oh, she puts that black thing into
it was floating around. She grabbed it.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right. That was my one confusing thing about the thing. I was like, otherwise, I understood.
But he was going to the house anyway.
Yeah.
Like he was going to rob them anyway.
I got you. She just took it up a notch.
Yeah, give him a little pep talk.
Yeah, well, you can do this. Go kill the parents. Nobody's seen this before in a comic book. And then like all we're missing are the Boogeyman and like the kid.
When did the mom die?
They just off camera.
Yeah, you didn't see the pearls, the mom's pearls. I'm just kidding. That's a Batman reference. Like how many times do you guys see
John? I don't know if they ever taught you this, like in your comedy school, but when you have to explain the punchline, that means it's not funny.
Yeah, if you have to say I'm joking, it's not funny.
Yeah. So at least give the joke time to like land before you explain it.
Oh, that's true. I'm happy to make more Martha Wayne jokes anytime you guys want. I'll get to writing.
So is Superman and Wonder Woman the only Justice League members with parents? Because Green Arrow, Batman, Flash.
It depends on which Flash you talk about, because his dad was still alive, but in the new ones he's not.
Depends on which Superman, because same thing. So
because Martha and
because in some of the stories,
Martha and
and Paul Kent are still alive.
Yeah,
Jonathan is still alive.
Frontier, they're back alive.
Yeah, so it all depends. And if you're talking about Jonathan, his parents are still alive.
Yeah. So while we're on the topic of like Superman and like all that, it's one thing that me and my friend Bobby talked about is how
Hey,
normally
Bobby.
whenever like in every universe they do like a evil Superman, it's because Lois or someone close to him died. It took until Kingdom Come was the only comic that they released where Superman lost everything, and instead of like going evil, he just quit. He
Being
just
Superman.
became like a farmer, sort of. He just locked himself up in like a prison and like became a farmer.
Hey, what Earth is Kingdom Come?
Oh yeah.
I don't remember. I have the book, but it's not with me right now.
Earth
Earth X.
KC.
I
I
You can
I
get
don't-
it's
the
very
writer
weird.
of Kingdom Come is great, by the way.
I like
And
the
who's
art
that?
style it goes where it's like kind of like an oil painting
well,
sort of.
that's
Alex
Kruger.
Ross? No.
no, we're talking about
Alex
the
Ross
art
is the
now.
artist.
Yeah, Ross.
Yeah, his art I always liked it. It just because it's like semi-realistic, but also semi like cartoonish. So you like have a good mix of it instead of like super like real.
I don't
Like
know. I
too
think a lot of
real.
his stuff looks photorealistic paintings.
Hey,
Well, he
hey,
uses
in
models.
Yeah.
full circle, his page layout, how when it was like in the negative zone in the book we just read, it was tilting like this, and the panels was turning at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That was pretty dope.
Yeah, we'll be getting to that book.
That was a good transition, though. He was talking about Alex Ross. We could
I
We had to
know.
finish, did we finish about Boogeyman? 'Cause
Yeah, I don't
just
think
talked
we
about it.
didn't all talk about Boogeyman. So this book, because Jonathan neglected to tell us what the book is about. The Boogeyman is about a boy who has witnessed the murder of his parents, and they're trying to. I guess the police are trying to interview him, and he's saying that he can't remember or something, or can't tell them who the person was who killed them. And you find out that there was these, I guess, a witch and a demon who have this thing with killing people. I guess so they come in and they want to like they plan to just come in and take over the house and kill the parents until the little boy sees them, and the little boy has an affinity for monsters. I guess or what did they call them on there, like boogeyman stories or something like
Yeah.
that.
Right.
And so when he sees this happening and this monster is looking for him, he almost prays to the boogeyman. It's like this poem or something about the boogeyman. And the boogeyman comes and actually saves him and scares the witch out of the house. And so now the boogeyman is protecting this kid as they're still these demons are trying to kill him or.
Well, yeah. So they called him Father Death.
So Father
Yes.
Death. He's like the big boogeyman.
Right. And that kind of reminded me of American Gods a little bit.
Yes.
And there's like these newer demons that are taking out the outliers, for lack of a better term, like a Westworld term. Like and anybody that's like a character from the old school, I guess they're trying to kill or take out. And he's one of them. And I like the idea because it keeps him like legendary in a way where, like, let's be real, we've all heard of the boogeyman quote, but we've never.
We never what, John? I guess the boogeyman got him.
I'd like to buy a vowel. Spin the wheel. Spin the wheel.
I guess John's wonderful Los Angeles internet strikes again.
Too much sunlight. That's what I blame it on.
Oh, there, out of here. Home run.
Now, I want to bring up, for one thing, wow. I mean, this book was not what I was expecting. Definitely something that I would like
Came
to
out
have.
of left field, yeah.
Well, I'd like to have it in hard copy. I actually want to go out and buy this thing and have it where I can actually flip through it. But one thing I want to bring up is toward the back of this thing, it talks about Filipino horror, if you don't know about it, and it kind of gives some quotes on there. And then it brings up another book on here, and I don't know if this is the same people that did this series that was on Netflix. It's also a book series that is now about to be a trade paperback. But Tresse, if you did not watch that on Netflix, do so. It is awesome. It's like Hispanic anime mixture. It's all over the place, but oh my gosh, it is done so well. Supernatural out the wazoo. But if they're the same people that did this one, I'm very interested to see what's going to be happening. And because theirs went to Netflix, I'm waiting to see if this one actually makes its way over there very soon.
And the thing is, it's not like from Image or, you know, these bigger, it's Ablaze Productions, which I don't know if anyone even knows what Ablaze is. But it's not a very big, well-known indie studio. So,
oh, they're getting a name, that's for sure.
Yeah. Trying to think.
And Tresse came out on Netflix, I believe, in 2020, so it was very much looked over because of the whole stuff that was going on then.
Yeah.
So don't miss out on that one, but keep an eye out on Ablaze. They're starting to come out with some big titles out there.
Yeah. I have a bunch of other books I read. I'll let somebody else do their books that we haven't talked about yet because I still have a bunch.
Sorry about that, by the way. Right in the middle of my book, my Wi-Fi goes to shit.
Like you said, it's your L. That's what we said. The boogeyman got you.
Yeah. he didn't like my analysis, apparently.
Yeah.
You know?
All right. Well, Phil, I know that you had you have read Fantastic Four.
Yes.
Full Circle.
Yes. So that's the one with Alex Ross. I was just testing everybody. Everybody passed, so we're good on that one. We can move forward. I don't feel like such an old man with a bad memory now. But it was how do I explain this? It's a Fantastic Four book. I mean, it's what you expect in there and then some. Specs brought up a good point on there because of the way that the panels are, and it actually makes the circle in there the way that it's going. You don't realize it until you go back and read it like the second or third time. You really see that in there. Otherwise, you're just paying attention to the story and trying to find out what's going on. It is definitely a class in chemistry and science. If you don't know some of the things, just pay attention to this one and you'll pass every class that's out there. Reed Richards does a great job as tutor. That being said, the way it starts out with the old school humor. It's got, why am I getting feedback from somebody else on here? That's not me, is it?
I don't think.
No, it's not me.
I know who it is. I know who it is.
Wait, is it me?
All right, it's not Joe. Is it? Hello?
No.
Hello?
Okay.
Who knows?
You hear an echo?
It's just like a feedback.
It's completely gone too. That's crazy.
Okay, so it's gone now.
It's the boogeyman.
It's the boogeyman. Just loving this show. This is great.
Right. So, talking about Fantastic Four, it starts out with the same humor that you always get from Ben and Johnny. Have a blast in there, messing with each other, and then it immediately goes into a bunch of action and introduces you to what's called, the negative zone. If you're not familiar with that, trippiest place you've ever seen in a comic book, it messes with you just on the graphics alone, and because it's got the Alex Ross stuff in there to really make it pop off of there. It's got the psychedelic nature, but not with the colors. There's not as many colors involved in it. And at one point, it's more of just the monochrome to kind of give you that feel. But they go into this trying to find out what happened with a certain being that was sent to them that had a lot of negative zone aliens popping out of there or whatever. They were trying to contain them and destroy them as fast as they could. Figured out a way to do that. Go to the negative zone. Try to figure out who sent them here. Ends up being a trap. Because we've never seen them fall into a trap before. It's never happened.
Never.
They can't figure out who's in there because they find out, oh, crap, we shouldn't have been here because this is like everybody we've ever fought before of our villains are here in form of spirit or whatever, and they're trying to kill us. So they have to figure out what's going on. It ends up being yet another one of Reed's college roommate, friends, whatever, colleagues. Did he make any friends in college? I'm just making sure because I thought it was.
I don't think he ever made any friends
It's
Period.
It's just Ben. That's the only one. Because we keep hearing about all these people that hate him that are supervillains now that keep going through. So don't go to college for Reed Richards. That's the moral of the story.
Which college is it? I want to go to that one. You know.
I don't superhero college. I don't know which one it is actually.
It's probably like
well, Harvard and Yale would have been boring to him, so it has to be something else.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
Oxford.
because Dr. Doom was there, so
yeah, exactly. So
Doom was his lab partner.
They end up finding out who it was. They flee him. They end up on this anti-Earth or alternate Earth or whatever you call this thing that's on the opposite side of our sun. It's always there. We just never know it.
Because it revolves when we do.
Clever.
True. So they, start up a battle on there. Everybody's like, can we just, calm down? They finally learn the dialect that's going on and find out that it was the being who had replicated Ben Grimm in yet another episode way back, hence the full circle. And they're able to go ahead and kind of give him peace by giving him a suit that he can finally get out of his metal suit that he's been in since he's been tricked into going to the negative zone way back when. It is just all over the place. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of dialogue in here, but it's key dialogue. There's nothing you want to go through and kind of just sleep on as you're going through. It is a page turner. If you're not huge into Fantastic Four, there's a lot of them in the past that have been so droll as you go along. It's just like, oh my gosh, I can't understand 2 of the words you said in that paragraph, so I'll go to the next page and see if I understand anything. This one has some of those words in there, and you can Google them if you want to. But for the most part, the story just moves very fluidly, and it's very good to go ahead and pay attention to and see what happens. It's a one-shot, as far as I can tell, and it's about to go into another one-shot, I believe is what it said at the end of it. So we'll see what happens there. But Marvel's putting out a lot of these just one-shot. So we'll see what their end game is going into this.
Hey, so I picked up on, okay, they need an anchor or an artifact to come back. So within that suit will let him come back? Okay.
Yeah, the suit was something that he had created a while back and then added matter and antimatter at the same time so you could be part of both. So you come in as antimatter, but you can't be matter that's destroyed, but of course you have to be matter to be alive. That's all the science-y stuff that's on there that you read into that you're like, I don't understand exactly how it works, but okay.
Because if you're alive, you matter.
Yes.
Well, let me ask you guys a question. Fantastic Four to me has always been one of those storylines that have been difficult to be sort of like embraced. Yeah, and as the heroes themselves, they've always seemed a bit two-dimensional compared to like their villains or the side characters, the Silver Surfers, the Doctor Dooms. Like their extraneous characters have always been more impactful to me to the overall Marvel universe a lot of times than they themselves. So what is it that's missing from the Fantastic Four like dynamic? Because I don't want to say it's always been there, but this is like one of the oldest teams in.
It is actually the oldest superhero. It's the original superhero team.
So the biggest thing with Fantastic Four has always been what they're facing. That's their biggest thing that actually makes them who they are. Whatever adversity hits them, they figure out a way to get around it, whatever it is. Whether it be, of course, Doctor Doom is their biggest one, Annihilus, MODOK. I mean, they've gone across the biggest and the baddest out there. There's all kinds of stuff that they've gone across. And one thing that's in here that changed up things a little bit is whenever they said they were putting on this suit, and I was like, okay, you're putting on the suit, big deal. Well, they explained that this had new technology in it, and I was like, wait a minute, so we're changing things now. The rules have now changed, and the suits now provide a lot of things that they normally wouldn't have. That makes them a lot more powerful that way, in my opinion.
But I also thought this story is an old story and not in the current Fantastic Four. It takes place sometime before. It's just like a one-shot story from the past.
But it doesn't seem like it's the past. It seems like because the past they brought up whenever the alien had taken over, had duplicated Ben Grimm. They talked about that and alluded to that in there. But they were talking about how that was a ways back and that Reed had tricked him into the negative zone to try to make sure that they got Ben back because Ben was stuck over there. And they're trying to figure out what happened with that, and that brought about how they got the technology for the suits because of the negative zone.
Well, I just figure as much because I don't know, because they're talking about Johnny being stuck in there, and he was stuck in there recently, but at the same time, the kids were still kids, need a babysitter. So I was confused because I think I think they're old enough to not need a babysitter.
Right.
I don't know, because even like, when did they do that? That Avengers storyline where the plant people.
Yeah.
And they had a babysitter then too.
Yep. And if you notice at the end of this, those were actually bigger kids that were in there waiting, and they were like, "Oh, you're home. Did you go somewhere?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, far, far away." That kind of thing on there.
They're not babies, but they're not like adults either. They're that age,
Tweens.
like 12, 13.
Yeah, they're young teens. Yeah, exactly.
You think it was just a name drop to say Agatha Harkness? You think it was...
Agatha Harkness actually has a big, she's an actual big character in Marvel.
Yep.
Yeah, I know she's a babysitter, but I haven't.
Well, yeah, she was their babysitter.
But I haven't really heard her name. I've been keeping up with Fantastic Four. I started really reading it with Jonathan Hickman's run. Then, recently, fell off, and they separated, and then Ben Grimm went to the Guardians of the Galaxy, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But they didn't say her name that much, or at all.
Doesn't she have her own TV show coming?
Yes. Yes, and they just announced today, obviously we're going to have to review this book when it comes out, but there's going to be a new Scarlet Witch series.
Yeah.
So it's just announced today. So it'll be out in December. So I have to make sure we at least I will be reading that.
And another thing, they defeated Annihilus pretty easily. He was like, "What's going on here?" They just did some stuff and got away from him. I was like,
well, because they even brought up the fact that it was not everything in there was real, that a lot of it was, what was in your mind or whatever too. So it wasn't actual villains. It was the personification of them, but you could die from it in the negative zone. So it wasn't that they had the same power levels that they would have had on Earth, but still they were present in their minds.
So it's the Matrix.
Pretty much, yeah. Except I didn't see him answer a phone, but it's the same thing, yeah.
well, they used the phone to call her.
That is very true. That is very true.
It all comes full circle.
Thus the name of the book.
And there it is.
Yes, I love it. Oh yeah, I also love Franklin Richards, by the way, one of the greatest characters ever created, I think. And his storyline and the way they've really, in all the over the different crossover events, they've made this unique character something that I would love to see get his own show.
Well, he is, at least at one point, the most powerful being in the Marvel universe.
Yes.
So,
and what's funny here, as all the kid characters have grown up but him.
Yeah, no, they won't let him grow up. He's got the Webster's disease.
Like Miles, Miss Marvel, they all grew up. All little X-Men kids.
Yeah, he was a kid back in the 80s.
He was a kid in the 90s.
But I'm saying, when he was introduced, was it late 70s, early 80s, somewhere around there?
Early 80s, yeah.
And he was still.
They gave him the power sponge character to stand next to him all the time because he's too powerful. That's amazing.
Literally, Harry Osborn had a kid, and
Leech.
the kid has grown up to be the same age as Franklin.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, is there any other books you read this week, Phil?
Yes, I read Sweet Paprika, number 12.
That was the final issue in this.
How do I put this? Number 1, not a kid's book. I cannot stress that enough. Not a kid's book. Not a kid's book. Not a kid's book.
Is it is that Mika Aldolfo or how you
Mirka Andolfo? Yes.
Most of his books are not.
No, but this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one is a lot about sex with angels and demons. I just know.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, not this demon. My fiance doesn't need to hear that one. No. 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 Okay, making sure.
To clarify.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know anybody named Angel or anything like that. No. Anyway, So
what's the tattoo then? Who's Angel? I'm just kidding.
we don't talk about that at all. No, that's just a bruise. That's just a bruise is all it is.
It's Angel from the X-Men. It's his favorite X-Men.
Yeah, I love that.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, your mutant power is growing chicken wings out of your back. Good luck. Sorry. Angel's like one of the most ridiculous characters.
Why do you think they made him into Archangel? One of the most epic characters.
Or the Colonel would find him, and that would be...
Yeah, and they actually made him a Horseman of Apocalypse. That's just hello.
Beak is even better. Beak is
too on the nose.
So Sweet Paprika, going back to that one. I don't know how else to put this except it was basically like a love triangle that turned into a love pentangle. It is all over the place. 5, 6. By the time they're done, I can't even keep track with who all is hooking up with who. There's more action on this than there ever was in those 90 sitcoms that were out, at the time on Fox or whatever. So there's a lot. 90210 got nothing on this one. It is just all over the place. It doesn't have a lot of heartfelt story, shall we say. It's more about just kind of, we want to do things but not get caught and not have the public know. We have public eye on us all the time anyway. This is what's going on. The series in a whole is just kind of just a fun, laid back. It's got a lot of sex. It's got a lot of cursing. It's got a lot of angels and demons doing things that they probably shouldn't be doing on either end. It's just a lot of what you would expect if somebody took and said, I just want to have fun with this idea of angels and demons hooking up. And they went to the nth degree. So Mirka and Adolfo really tore this one up. And being that it's the end of it, they did show at the very end that there could possibly be more. That there is an opening for spinoff.
As
not
most
for
of
this
his,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, not the series itself, but a spinoff. I can see that. But
I think it had a very nice love story underneath of
I mean, for a same storyline as a pizza man showing up with the certainly, yeah, it was.
You make it sound like
well,
so funny.
If you like this, you should read. What's his other book? That
crap, I can't remember now.
The pig one.
Yes. Son of a. And I know exactly.
But you make it sound like an NC-17 Supernatural. Like if Sam and Dean were having sex with the angels and the demons.
But
I mean, you just reviewed it. You didn't even read it. That's a great job right there. That's right on par. In fact, you need to reach out to Mirka and say, I have got a pull quote from whenever you're done with the series and put it in trade paperback. Put that one on there right there.
There you go.
If Sam and Dean were to have at each other in Supernatural, yep, exactly. There you go.
Oh my God.
he also is doing Red Sonja at this point too. So
yeah, exactly. So
he is a busy man.
It was like I said, it was fun. It was very interesting, eye-opening, and kind of mouth-dropping at times. But it was a good one. The other ones that I read 2 more. I read Twig #5,
which was also the end of that.
It was the end. It was the end of that one. This thing, okay, I've talked about Twig before. Scotty Young. The artwork that's on here, the scenes and everything are absolutely epic. The storyline is great going through here. This little character has been through hell and back trying to fix the universe, basically. The universe is about to end, and he's the only one who can stop this by going ahead and recreating a gem that was cracked by him accidentally. By going through this, the gem maker that was going to fix it died before he got there. So then he has to take on the mantle of the gem maker, has no idea what he's doing, gets the idea of he's got to use the horn from this particular alien, whatever thing that's out there, but it's the last one that's out there, so he has to protect it. Other poacher aliens that are out there are trying to get it. The alien ends up sacrificing itself so that Twig can live and finish out this quest. And Twig has a moment. And I'm telling you right now, out of all of this entire series, that moment that he has where he sits down and he says, "That's it, I'm done." He throws his bag and he says, "What's the point? No need to do this. I can't do this anymore. I'm beat." That right there will hit home harder than anything, just simply because you've had so much fun with the series. He's gone through so much. He's always come over adversity. And finally he gets to that moment where he hits that brick wall and says, "No more." And then his little sidekick buddy, whatever you want to call him, Spat, whatever his name is. He's got a fun name on there.
Splat, I think his name is.
I think it's Splat. He's over there and he's like, you can't quit and everything. He's like, "Yeah, I'm done." Next thing you know, this little character, and we're talking about, it's, a booger with legs, basically, picks up the pack, puts it on its back, and starts trying to walk off, and of course can't because the pack's too big. You think it's funny, but it's not. Yeah, Jonathan, I can do a little bit of comedy too. It's not good comedy.
No, you're hilarious. I love this. This is great.
It's dad jokes.
It's yeah. Even dad jokes are better par than what I do. It's but he gets to that point where he says, "I got to figure something out in this." I can't even explain to you how he actually finishes this off and actually is able to recreate the crystal. It's all based on his own heart, on what he was able to go ahead and do throughout all this and all of the challenges. Exactly. Full circle from where he started, just from giving that, "Yes, I will take this challenge and I will accept this," to going through everything he did to the point where the crystal is now redone and the universe is saved and we're okay. And at the very end, after all is shown on there, it says Twig will return. I love that Scotty Young is going to bring Twig back.
Yes.
It reminds me of an adorable alchemist.
Yes. Yes, exactly. And
always where he started.
The other one that I read was X-Men and Moon Girl. That was another one where you get kind of dropped into having no idea what's going on. It is a one-shot.
Well, I feel like
actually it's not.
It's not. Okay.
They've been having the last couple weeks something and Moon Girl.
Okay.
So they're all number ones, but they've been different characters and Moon Girl.
Well, on this one, they have stolen Wolverine's blood. They kidnapped Devil Dinosaur, and it's all because of the High Evolutionary. So was that actually brought up in the other books that were on there?
I just remember glancing through them and just remember seeing that they were.
Yeah, I want to say it's a storyline, but
each one was
different.
Yeah, she teams up with different people each of these 5 issues.
Well, because Marvel is also, they're real big on, if you're reading into something and you're not familiar with it, they do the asterisk and say, pick up book number such and such to see what happened here. And none of that was ever into this at all. So you're just kind of going, I'm figuring it out as I go.
Well, I also think Devil Dinosaur is on a team too. He's on a team without her, which I thought that was weird. But
really?
Well, they definitely fixed that at the end of this one, because that's not going to happen anymore. Whenever High Evolutionary put her into the machine, and now their consciousness is now mixed. Both of them have halves of each other's consciousness. Whenever she come out of that and actually had the one dinosaur eye and the one regular eye, it was really cool for the graphics that were on there that was drawn out. But they both share the brain now, so they can actually control each other.
So you think she's nerfed now?
I don't know. I'm kind of trying to figure that out. I know whenever they left her in Wakanda, and Shuri had her, and Shuri was talking to her, and they had fixed the speech problem that was on there, because half of her speech would be human, the other half would be rawr, that kind of stuff they put in there for the dinosaur. And at the end, she was speaking, properly, because Shuri had taken care of that, but they never said anything about anything else. But you do see the eye in I think the second to last panel in there, you see her eye. Right before her parents come out saying, "Is that a dinosaur?" They freak out about that because they never knew about Devil Dinosaur.
You sure? Because I got the books for my daughter about it, and I thought they knew about the dinosaur.
at the very end, they acted surprised. So that's what kind of surprised me too. I was kind of like, I thought they knew about this.
Yeah, I thought they knew because he's always around. Like I thought
Exactly. How do you hide a dinosaur, devil dinosaur?
Yeah.
maybe something happened. That's why they're in Wakanda. Because they don't live in Wakanda. They live in New York.
Yeah, that is true. But I mean, they did go back to Wakanda, and Wakanda's where her parents come around out of the bed of weeds or whatever and looked at them.
Yeah, we're probably missing something because like I'm not reading the Black Panther book, so apparently a lot was going in Black Panther because Storm made a reference to what's going on in those books.
Yeah.
And another Marvel book made a reference too. So maybe there's a lot's going on in that book.
Well, I mean, just the fact that High Evolutionary is involved, that's got to have some kind of, background in there. He doesn't just show up in a one shot and he's off and done. He actually has something going on.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Is Moon Girl going to be introduced to the MCU? Maybe.
Yeah,
she already is.
Yeah, she
already has. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Who is it? Who is it? Sam Jackson. Who's doing the show?
No, I don't remember.
Yeah, some famous black actor. He got.
I don't think it'll be Samuel Jackson since he's.
Yeah, but I forgot who picked the story up. But some famous black male actor is going to produce it. I can't think who it was.
Oh, produce it. Yeah, I mean maybe if he's not playing Nick Fury in it.
Michael B. Jordan.
No, not Michael. No, somebody older than him. I'll look it up.
Yeah. I think I know who
Moon Girl's going to have her own show. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a yeah. Yeah, because see, there's another one is Miles Morales, SpiderMan, and Moon Girl.
I always joke that Moon Boy would be a whole different comic book, and it would just be a kid in puberty just mooning all the wrong people and getting in ever more trouble as he goes on. He just can't help himself.
One thing about Moon Girl, she's actually the smartest person on the planet. She beats out Reed Richards. She beats out Tony Stark. She beats out everybody. She is the absolute smartest.
Oh, that's good.
Y'all hear me? It's Lawrence Fishburne.
Oh,
whoa. Okay.
Which gets confused with Sam Jackson all the time.
That's right, because he was on the panel at D23. I forgot about that. I just remembered that too.
Yeah, that happened on SportsCenter or whatever. Somebody confused Sam Jackson with Lawrence Fishburne. It's like, oh, don't you do that one credit card commercial? He goes, no, that's Lawrence Fishburne, man.
It's a trench coat. That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be cool.
All right.
I think it'd be great to get all the smartest minds in Marvel, and have their own book and have trouble reading that dialogue. It's like.
It can be. They did an issue with that, and they complained about that because it was too much dialogue. I think somebody said it's too much dialogue on the panel or something.
I can only imagine.
So, Specs, did you read any other books this week before I get into my tirade of books?
I read most of the books that Phil did, but the one that y'all didn't talk about was the Bond. The Bond
James
book.
Bond 007 issue number 2.
Yes. That book's pretty crazy because they're talking about a 00 agent, 003, I believe.
003, yeah.
And each little, the only thing I didn't understand is the people at the table, were they MI6 agents or not?
I think they were just some of everything.
Yeah. So that was weird because I'm a pretty good Bond fan. I don't remember him talking about like stuff like that with other people that freely. So that was pretty odd. And I think this book also has the idea that James Bond 007 is a title and not a person.
It is a title.
James
the
Bond.
007. Oh, the James Bond.
James Bond.
Oh, yeah.
James Bond is a title, not a person.
Oh, that's interesting.
That idea was in this book because when it was talking about he was reading the case files of the predecessor.
Yeah.
I think it was talking about another James Bond than him. And I
like that.
What was going on. Because that theory is pretty, good if you look into it. They go back to the movies and how they say it's all current.
And how he can look different.
Yeah, that's why it's
Yeah.
so different.
Yeah.
Then another part, the fight in the hallway was was a weak moment for me for James Bond. So I was like, oh man, I don't think James Bond would ever go out like that. Cause
Oh yeah.
the end, like, come on.
Unless he meant to.
Yeah. But we never know to issue
3.
Yeah.
So issue 3.
But this book's better than the previous James Bond comic that was out. It was kind of dull. But this one really got me like, what's going on? Because I think we mentioned last time we read it, we don't know what part of his career is in. We look at it seemed like it's early in his career, which could explain why he got knocked out in the hallway.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's 003 was a female agent who is dead, in quotes. But she's still alive, isn't she? Like, didn't she send him a note that he's not supposed to like tell them that she's still alive?
Yeah. But it seemed like a rehashed story though. Like, I don't think it's 006, but one of those 90s or 2000s Bond movies is like
one of the Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah. It's the same storyline almost.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. I think it was Sean Bean, Michael Bean?
Was it
one of them?
The guy in the blue outfit, right? With the bullet in his head? Was that guy? No,
that's a different guy.
I know what story you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, but the 006 one where he like pretends to kill himself in the beginning of the movie.
Then he's the villain.
Yeah,
he's the villain.
Yeah.
Full circle back to the beginning of the
Yeah.
We're doing great here, guys. It's called a callback.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm trying to think so I read Sword of Azrael #2. This is in number 2 of 6. If you remember back.
I did read the SpiderMan 2099.
All 8 of them?
Thank you.
No, I didn't read all 8.
Oh, well.
But who was those?
Well, Jonathan asked me for the Spider-Man 2099 book, and I was like, well, if you're going to read that, you need to read them all because it's the end of the storyline. And I was posting the first couple, and nobody read them, so I quit.
We have read
I just don't.
No one talked about them, though.
I want to talk about them.
But you didn't read them. You didn't do your homework.
I will. I'll do it tomorrow.
Well, when tomorrow you're going to have a new list of books to read.
Yeah.
I read all of them up to 2 or 3, the Loki one. And it's weird. It don't seem like a Spider-Man book. It seems like just world building of 2099.
Have you read Spider-Man 2099 before?
Yeah, the old ones.
The old ones, like from the 90s?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it had him in it. He was actually doing things though.
Yeah. Well, the ones that it's what it's doing. It's building up to the Omega, like to the Mega story. Like, because the Alpha had him in it. The other ones have him in it, but it's like introducing.
He's in. I mean, he's not. I mean,
they're introducing the characters, and then
But all the 29s were like world building stories. Like if you remember back in the 90s, each 2099 thing that came out was like another look at the world that we now put this updated version
in this 7-issue story arc. Like you have Alpha, the Alpha issue, and it has Spider-Man, and it leads into the other. And now he's like putting together this team, so each issue is focused on a different 2099 character.
Yeah,
I'm so excited. Tomorrow's gonna be great.
Like Loki 2099.
Yeah.
Winter Soldier 2099. Crossbones 2099. That's how it would have been back in the day.
Yeah, and
Green
then
Goblin.
They have the updated X-Men 2099, which I think it's neat the Cable's in there because I was always kind of upset, like in the original X-Men 2099, that they never like had him or any of the other guys who travel through time. Like
Bishop is Bishop in there?
He wouldn't be in there. I mean, he like the way I'm reading him now, he's time displaced, so like he would have been there, but since he's gone, he's absent. But he appears, he's there. I don't know what book it was, but but
he's in this. I'm telling you, in issue 5.
Yeah, I'm saying why he couldn't be in the old one, because if you do the I don't know what issue where he's when the issue when the kid leaves and the older one comes back, he remembers his relationship with Emma, whatever her name was, Este.
Yeah.
He remembers that, but before he didn't have a relationship with her.
Well, because he didn't come back.
Yeah.
So
I guess every time he comes back to that little house or hut, it changes his timeline or wherever he's at.
Who knows?
To make the events fall in line.
Phil has no idea. Okay, Phil, in the X-Men storyline, young Cable, he was a teenager. He comes back and kills old man Cable.
Okay.
So then he takes over as Cable. Like he said, dude, you messed up so much. I'm going to fix it before you even have a chance to mess up. So so for years it was this young Cable, which everybody hated. And he ends up in a relationship with the Cuckoo sisters. But eventually he chooses one. Like he could tell the difference.
No, Kid Omega had the other one.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, but then eventually old Cable, before he dies, comes back because young Cable has to go back to his time to continue on his storyline to whatever. So we have old Cable back, but he's not as old as he was when he died. But he's
slightly before.
Yeah, so if you ever play a survival video game, every time you die, you go back and pick up your stuff.
Yeah.
Well, Cable has like a little apartment, so every time he comes back, he just figure out what's going on. Like,
and hope they don't. So he keeps going back to that apartment, praying it's still there.
Yeah.
Every time.
I think it's so far ahead in time, it's okay because he done fixed everything, but he doesn't know what happened. Like, I don't.
But isn't he also like the son of an ex of
Yeah, he's Cyclops' son.
Cyclops and Jean Grey.
No,
but you also got Nate
Cyclops
walking around too, though.
Not anymore. Nate's not there anymore.
Oh, Nate Summers.
I believe they're gonna pop him back out because
they are, but I mean, he's not there now. He became like Jesus, and
they got evil Cable walking around still. Can't think of his name right now.
Strife.
Yeah, they got Strife.
Well, yeah, evil Cable Strife because the whole disease takes over, right?
No, it didn't. He's a clone of.
Right.
Oh, that's right. We already had this conversation. That's right.
He's a clone of Cable that was not infected with the techno-organic
He's
virus.
the evil Nate, basically.
Yeah. Evil Nate. But there's also the baby clone of Cable that was still.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about
that. Yeah, right. No, I'm with you, Phil. This started to sound like a SpiderMan clone saga scenario. They're like, and then there's an ugly Cable that comes out of the woodwork going, kill me. Why?
And speaking
and then we get confused, and the one Cable goes to live in California, and the other one dyes his hair blonde and stays here.
But they all have the metal arm, so it's hard to deny that it's still Cable wherever they go.
When he comes back alive, he says he needs that. If not, his psychic ability goes out of control.
Yeah.
But they explain that, but they don't explain why Cyclops come back with a mess of eyes every time.
Yeah.
Because it's his mutant ability.
No, he used to control it until he hit his head and he couldn't control it anymore. But why not when he get reborn, it just fixed it like everything else?
Oh, because his reboot was probably before that.
That version, yeah.
No, it's a physical reboot. They can just fix it. Like,
they don't have CRISPR.
Like Domino, they didn't put her. They kept her bad memories in there in her messed up arm. Who else? Wolverine. They gotta put the metal back on the arm every time.
Yeah, they have to put. Yeah, I know that they have suddenly an endless supply of adamantium on Krakoa.
It'd be super rare.
But Ford has an endless supply of it that he can keep making. Keep making Wolverine every time they have to bring him back to life.
Then Beast. I believe they're gonna say Beast is Dark Beast. That's why he don't want to get reborn.
And he's so like messed up.
Because he got that eye from that little gremlin eating his eye out.
Yeah. You really need to start reading X-Men again, Phil.
That's a lot of reading on there.
It is.
I just want to see a Dazzler long shot story now of their own romance.
They already did that. See, you just have to go back and read the 90s stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I got to go back to the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Which means I need Cable. I need Cable.
Dazzler's coming back as his own series, so you start there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
But anyways, I had read Sword of Azrael, number 2 out of 6. Remember in the first issue, there was this girl who came to the church who was being chased by Bane's daughter, the daughter of Bane. And she is part of this other group of what are they called, Joey? You guys were always into them. The Knights, Templars.
Oh, the
That's
Templars.
it. And if you don't know, it is Jean-Paul Valley. He is broken free of the Order of St. Dumas, and now he's a Christian. So he's living in this monastery with monks. And this girl comes, and she was sent there by a priest to get Azrael's help, but he doesn't want to be Azrael because Azrael's bad. But anyway, so in this story, he kind of defeats Bane's daughter. She more or less retreats because, he becomes Azrael and kicks all their butts. But when he goes into the monastery, he had given the girl his sword to protect herself in case they'd come in. When he goes in, all the monks are dead, and she has the flaming sword, and she is an angel called Sariel, and that is the angel of death. So he finds out that she is like him, so he wants to protect her, that she has been programmed and things like that. So, but this one finally ties into that one shot that came out last month at the same time, which it seemed like it had no connection to issue 1.
Right.
But it actually connects back to that with one of the characters from that. So now they're in hiding. Well, at the end of the story, Surreal leaves with that Angel of Sorrow and Daughter of Bane. So we'll see where that and Azrael's in his mind fighting against Azrael. So I'm a big Azrael fan, so I'll obviously keep reading this. Just I love that character. I know Joey likes the character as well.
Exciting and cryptic.
Yeah, well,
find the Asbat figure, McFarlane one.
Yeah, if we can ever find that stupid Azrael, that Asbat from Nightfall.
I hope they release a second one where it's his red costume.
Yeah, the more evil one when he had like the actual bat wings.
Yeah,
but and what's good about this too, like how DC has a tendency to like forget their history. This is actually still in continuity with Batman 300. That was the issue when he breaks, when he takes over for Batman. And he ends up breaking Bane's back at the end of that storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
So we're still like connected with all of that. It's not like we're gonna
usually.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So and then I read Metal Society issue 5. This was the end of this story. This is where in the world where humans have gone extinct and robots rule the world. So you could say it's like post. What the heck was I thinking? What?
Post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, but no, it's not really. It's like I was saying, it's post. I would say Judgment Day, but that's the second movie, Terminator. So there's no humans. Yeah, there's no humans. It's all like robots. But robots have decided that they do not like to do the menial jobs. So they create humans, and so humans can become like their slave labor. But eventually, the humans decide that they want equal rights and everything. So this other robot who lost his job to a human gets upset, and so him and this human woman decide that they're going to have a fight, because that's how in the robot society, that's how they solve their issues, is to have like boxing matches, kind of.
I also just caught up on this new season of Westworld, and it is very similar. I have to say, they created flies which infected humans, which then become the robot slaves. So
yes. So in this fight, we see in the last issue, the robot doesn't really want to fight, and the human doesn't want to fight, but their groups, like their societies, have kind of forced them into this fight. So they train her that if she can hit the robot like in the chest in this thing like 20 times, it'll end up knocking off his servos, kind of balance thing. In the first round, she just like goes crazy and hits him 17 times. But then since he's a robot, they use all this stuff and analyze her fighting style and stuff, and they reprogram him in between the rounds. So now she can't even land a punch, and he's destroying her. It comes down to the end, like the last round. She just offers her his hand. He shakes his hand. It ends in a draw, and that causes a big riot because now nobody won. And so the robots are attacking robots, humans are attacking humans, back and forth. But when it ends, her and the robot are dead. And so then because he's a robot, obviously they bring him back to life. And the whole storyline is kind of, let me see if I put what I put down. What says, they get to fight, and then it's kind of just like a whole like unity kind of thing, because he leaves with the humans to start like integrating them, and a bunch of other robots go with him, and the people who were like wanted to fight are all butthurt. I don't know. There was something I wanted to read, but I gotta see if I can find it really quick. I should have already had it up. I thought the last page of it was really good. Let me see if I can find it really quick, because I should have had it up. Was that? Yeah,
was that the alarm?
No, that was someone probably messaged me. Gotta bring it up. I should have had this up. I gotta get through like 5,000 comics to find it, but there it is. Okay. Now I gotta wait for my computer to decide to open it. Maybe eventually. There we go.
This reminds me of every Zoom meeting I had in 2020.
Yeah.
Just wait for it. We all are here on time. How do you not have your notes ready?
Hey, I was here an hour early. I should have had this ready. Okay.
I'm not one to talk.
Yeah, at least I do my homework.
Yeah.
All right. And it says, my name is Wall421313, and this is the robot talking. And I learned many things from the human champion. I've learned many things from the human champion, Rosa Gen 3. Means she is the third generation of humans. Fighting is natural, and the fight is never over. Never over. So if you do fight with heart, fight for others, and fight to build something. For every living thing, robot and human, we all share this little planet together. So that was kind of like the whole point of, it's like we're going to use robots and humans to teach us a lesson about the world today. I guess it's the best. We all have to live on this planet. We should do the best we can to like get along.
That's a really good summary of the whole episode.
Yeah. Can we all just get along? But I'm trying to think if there was another. Oh, the other book that I did not put in there because I just realized that I had read the first issue and I wanted to read the second one was The Death Lucky #2. If you remember, that was the girl who was in the military. It takes place like a little bit in the future. And there's a company that kind of is like the police force, kind of like how that always is in the future. And she gets this mech at the end and she like fights these terrorist kind of people. And I wondered, like at the last image you saw her standing there and there was like these two like ghosts, like electric ghosts, and she has powers, and I'm trying to figure out what it was. But in this issue, you get a little bit more the backstory, where the mech is actually possessed by her ex-partner in the military, Ghost. And that was one of the electrical like beings we saw. And there's another one that we have not found out about yet. It's a female one that's also with her. And so the mech is actually like her ex-friend, boyfriend, partner person. So there's a neat dynamic in this issue where she like talks to it all the time, and it like it can't really talk back, but it's kind of like talking to R2D2
or Jarvis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it kind of like communicates with her, but in weird ways. But at the end, that the police officer, she actually talks bad about that company that's like protecting people, and so they demote her, and now she goes and finds this girl and wants to make some kind of deal with her. So we'll see where that leads to. And then the only other thing I guess there's still two more things I read. Has anybody read the Axe books, the Avengers, Externals, X-Men stuff?
I have a very busy day tomorrow.
Last one I read was the Internals did something. And they were switching to go get Druid out of power. Is the last one I read.
All right. Well, this one was Death to Mutants issue number 2. And the big thing I think is great about this, if you remember when we read the first thing on Specs, you were saying about the 5 people that seemed like they had nothing to do with the story. Well, one of the people is this black girl. And she's a writer kind of thing. And she has this idea to make this fanzine kind of thing to help promote other writers and poets and things, but she's like a procrastinator, so she keeps putting it off. But she's part of this like Facebook group, and she meets somebody in this Facebook group, and they're texting back and forth all the time. And you find out that this person she's texting is actually the big flame eternal thing that is attacking Krakoa, and it's texting her somehow about being worried about if it's going to be judged for not submitting stuff to her fanzine.
That's interesting.
Wow.
So it's very. I mean, that's just like the background story. Obviously, there's X-Men stuff going on.
But a god without self-awareness.
Yeah, or like super self. Like it's
Yeah, bizarre.
It thinks it's a like young 20s girl.
Right, yeah. Like it's just another fangirl.
But it's this giant fiery monster that's at the same time attacking Krakoa.
That's the scariest fangirl scenario.
Does that ancient Eternal look like Apocalypse to you?
Oh, the Uranus or whatever his name is. Yeah, kind of.
Back when the first started, I thought that was Apocalypse they had resurrected. But it was him. So I was like, oh man, I wonder if like they're gonna tie it all together.
And in this issue, we finally get Star Fox back. So.
Oh, good. Now we did come full circle with old video game references.
No, it's not that Star Fox.
I know. I'm just saying.
They refer to him in this as a space slut.
A space slut.
Yeah, because that's what he is.
So that's Star-Lord too.
His name Star Fox is named Eros.
Eros, but it's like his
Star-Lord name.
Well, yeah, his Avengers name is Star Fox. Because you know how Captain America is really Steve Rogers. Star Fox is really Eros.
Right. That's his call sign.
Yeah.
But who comes up with these names? Like, it's just Iron Man playing video games. He goes, no, you're going to be Star Fox.
Yeah.
Well, this was way before.
Who must be Flippy?
Yeah, right. Who's going to be Flippy?
But I do believe that was the last book I had read. I read 10 of them this week. So, Jonathan?
You're blowing my mind. You're a very literate comic book fan. I'm proud of you.
Joe, did you read anything this week that you want to talk about?
Mostly, I just got into another I can't think of his full name, but it's Sean something. He's the same guy who did the White Knight series.
Sean Murphy.
He did another series called Ghost Tokyo.
Oh.
I've been reading that. It's like some weird fantasy cyberpunk kind of.
Yep, I remember that now.
Really,
that's cool.
It's been really cool so far, but I haven't found too many. I've been just looking for it, but there's not very many.
Yeah, it's an older. Is it an Image book?
Yeah, it's an Image book.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so I've been reading that, and then I not a chapter, but a like one of the Youngblood books, and it's like a double-sided one, so it has
it's Youngblood issue 2.
Yeah, because it has like
he's going back to the
Chapel
90s
and all
now.
of them. Well, yeah, because I wanted to read a lot of the classic books, and then because I've always liked the older books, because a lot of the newer stories, like
I know.
they just do a lot of stuff to the characters I like that I don't like that they're doing.
Yeah.
So I like to read the old comics because then it's like something I like to read. But I was reading Youngblood. I read the one that has Chapel and all of them on it, and then on the back has Supreme or whoever, the one like Superman like dude.
Yeah, Supreme.
Yes, and on the other side, and I read both of those. I'm trying to think what else.
Let me know how those Venoms are. The Lethal Protector stuff you got.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably read those tonight. But
the first issue was pretty straight.
Of Lethal Protector.
Yeah.
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 I prefer my 90s Lethal Protector.
Make it sound like Chuck Norris when you say it like that.
Well, that was why he was still an anti-hero. Like when he was just trying to be a superhero, and he was still Venom.
He had trouble a little bit.
Yeah,
I like that.
a little bit. When the human wants to be a hero and the symbiote doesn't.
Exactly.
And I read Spawn issue 333. 333, yeah. Because that was
it was this week's book. Yeah.
Yeah. I finally finished King Spawn because I read it halfway through it, stopped, and then I finished it. So I'm done with that.
What do you like about King Spawn? Like what compared to the other Spawn books? What sets it apart from like the normal Spawn, like just the Spawn book?
I kind of like how in King Spawn it's not just focused on them because it gives more branched out. Like you learn more about some of the other characters. Like I can never remember the superhero's name, but it's like the kid who can, whenever the kid wishes for something, the superhero will appear and like do whatever the kid wants. Like in King Spawn, the kid's like I think having a birthday party or whatever, and he like wishes everyone was dead besides dad. So the superhero shows up and like slaughters everyone. Whoa. And this kid's like freaking out and he doesn't know why, and the superhero's like, "Oh, you told me to."
Yeah.
Like what do you mean? He's like, "I am you, but just you control me." And he's like, this kind of looks like the Redeemer a bit, but a bit different.
Oh, I know who. I can't think of his name. I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
But I'm waiting. It's because I know Volume 2 is not going to come out for a while, but the way they ended Volume 1 of King Spawn was like my favorite because it just ends with Gunslinger Spawn riding in on the motorcycle, and he's like stops and everything, and like it's so cool. Gunslinger Spawn was one of my favorite alternate spawns that there are.
Yeah.
Al Simmons will always be my favorite, but Gunslinger Spawn's the second.
Yeah, I really recommend the Gunslinger books if you haven't read any of them. If you're a Spawn fan, Gunslinger is a guy, Jose or something like that. Javier, and he's like from 1840s, and he becomes
he's supposed to protect Al Simmons' great grandfather or whatever.
Yeah, he's a Spawn, but you find out everyone always calls him the weakest Spawn, but the symbiote that he has is actually Spawn's symbiote when it was young. So they both have the same.
Yeah.
They evolved together.
Yeah, well, it's just a younger version of Spawn's symbiote.
Yeah, it's just that when Al Simmons got it, it was at a much more matured age. That's why he was so much stronger with it. And then,
but he's actually stronger than Spawn because he still has all of his power, unlike Spawn does.
Now there is one Spawn comic. I'm trying to find it, but it is really hard to find. and that is Hellspawn, where it was like that really like grim art style, and it's where they introduced Ravenspawn,
Yeah.
where he had like it was Al Simmons going through his like weird depression phase because of after he killed Malboja and everything, and he was like kind of like forced upon the throne. He doesn't really want to take it and everything.
Yeah.
And so like he goes into this weird phase of depression. He becomes the Ravenspawn, which
We're
is like
keeping
one
it
of
dark.
Oh
That's
yeah,
good.
all the Spawn is been pretty dark lately.
Yeah.
So
Good way to
they've
wrap
done-
up the show.
Well, it's not done. We still have one more segment to do.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
I've
excited.
been trying to. Other than that, the only other Spawn, like besides Kingspawn, the only other Spawn book I've read is issue 1 of Medieval Spawn, and I'm talking about the old Medieval Spawn comic,
Yeah.
where he had like the helmet that had like the thing and the shield that spins and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read that, and I kind of like how Violator can like hop through universes, so it ends with him going to Al Simmons' universe and everything like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like pretty cool.
So Joey is obviously our Spawn.
Yeah,
person.
aficionado.
So he, I don't know where you got that from. I couldn't tell you, but
I don't know. I think I just found him one. Like it was just something that I've seen on the internet. I was like, he's pretty cool. So I did more and more research on him, and he just came to be one of. It's because like it's like a comic you can read. Because a lot of comics don't want to go to a certain extent, but Spawn will push past that barrier of like just going straight talking about like hell and like demons and like
and
about
just
in King Spawn where the whole thing's about
child murder.
yeah, about Billy wanting starting a cult to murder children.
Yeah.
Good times.
You see that in like a DC or a Marvel comic.
Yeah. Well,
So that's what I liked about
that's
Spawn.
indie books for you. We can do whatever we want, really.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I think that's why
anyways,
it's still considered an indie comic company though, is because of
well,
since
they're owned by themselves, so that's kind of
yeah. But
Image is just the publisher. They're not like they don't own that stuff.
yeah.
So, but anyways, we need to get to our spooky season question segment for tonight. We have been talking about some horror movies, and this week I wanted to talk about who we believe are the best characters in horror that were not the killers. So we're looking at the characters, who maybe got killed in the movie, survived the killers, or one of my favorite characters is on was it Friday the 13th? I want to say there's probably a couple of them. The old guy at the gas station.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's always one of my favorite characters. But so who wants to go first? Let's see. We'll go down with Jonathan first, since he didn't do any homework.
Well, no, I was just thinking like Jamie Kennedy in Scream was probably like one of my favorite like non-villains, and I was thinking like maybe Bride of Chucky, but she technically would be a villain too. But Jennifer Tillis, before becoming Jennifer Tilly.
Yeah, not Pam Tillis.
No. But Jennifer Tilly was great as like the side character, and I don't know, I love it when they do these sort of like, outlandish one-off like sort of victims that are going to die anyway. I mean, maybe Jamie Kennedy was supposed to die or whatever, but his character was just so clever that they kept him around, Or like in Freddy vs. Jason, the stoner character that's clearly Jason Mewes. Like I really liked that character, and they have that. Like a lot of times, every Freddy movie has like a goofy doofus or whatever. Stoner. Yeah, I'm always rooting for the goofy doofus. If I was to pick one of all those like stock characters, it's like, oh, why'd you kill that guy? He didn't hurt anybody. He's supposed to, hang out, play video games, and do drugs.
Because that's one of the rules. You can't do drugs.
You can't do drugs.
You can't do drugs, and you can't have sex, or you'll end up dead.
Yeah, but murdering, cool. Let's jump on that one. Yeah, no sex, no drugs. I love how pious all the villains are.
All right, Phil. You should have a long list of characters you like from horror.
I mean, you can't start off with anyone else except for Jamie Lee Curtis, Scream Queen of all time. I mean, there have been others that they say have surpassed her or whatever, but sorry, my generation and all, it's like, no, that's it.
They made a show called Scream Queens where she is like, that was a good show if anyone ever watched it.
Oh yeah, so
Emma Roberts.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of hers.
Yeah. Of course, Roy Scheider. I mean, Jaws. Come on.
Yes.
Can't miss that one. I mean, going down the list, there are just so many to go with that have been supporting in there that haven't been the actual bad guy in there. But it's all about that chemistry between good versus evil. It doesn't work out very well between certain ones that are out there. Sidney Prescott, with the way she works out in Scream. Same thing. I mean, she's the ultimate good against the ultimate evil, or is she? I mean, it's kind of up in the air, but she turns into this absolute badass woman who takes care of matters on her own, whereas most people would be like, get the police to take care of it, get whatever type thing, or you're going to die at the end of the movie anyway. And it doesn't happen to her. I mean, she keeps taking care of business every time. And now in the newer one, she's not even flinching as she pulls trigger on some things, which is, you see the evolution of the character. And that's the biggest thing, is you want to see those characters that evolve more than anything else. That being said, Jamie Lee Curtis better have one hell of an evolution coming up in Halloween Kills, because Ends, Kills, Done, Fries, whatever we're calling this one next, to finish it off. They said no more ever. This is done. No more Halloween.
I don't believe that.
I don't either, but then again, who else is going to come in after Rob Zombie and redo something like that they're actually going to let fly, that's going to do anything?
I have a thought.
Blumhouse, A24.
Well, we don't have
Mike Myers mask.
Well, we don't have big directors out there that are like the originals, who, whenever they put their name to something, you automatically knew it was going to be an epic.
Yeah.
It was going to be a cult classic.
But of course, you got to think, when that first one came out, John Carpenter, his name wasn't that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Clive Barker, John Carpenter.
Yeah. Well, John Carpenter, like, his movie before that was Attack on Precinct 12 or whatever it was. And and it flopped. Like, it.
Yeah.
So, putting his name on that movie was kind of like.
But then again, he had Christine, and it did so flipping well. So
later on, yeah.
So here's my premise: the new Halloween, even though they're going to end it when they reboot it again, it's going to be M. Night Shyamalan as the director, right?
Don't even talk bad about M. Night Shyamalan.
Here's the twist: the original Mike Myers mask was actually a William Shatner mask.
Yeah. Captain Kirk.
So the twist will be, it'll be a Picard mask. How awesome would that be?
Or
bald
better
Myers.
yet, you know what the mask should be? An Austin Powers mask.
Oh yeah. There you go.
We want the one guy with the glasses laughing. Thank you, Austin Powers fan.
The one guy, I see two people with glasses. So,
Groovy baby.
Yep.
Oh, two people. Yes.
Don't
I just don't see it on film.
Come on. Mike Myers.
Exactly. Michael Myers.
I get it.
Fair.
See, I had to explain it because
you didn't have to explain
it. It wasn't funny, so I had to explain it.
I saw it in a movie. They did that in a movie where, like, some guy was like, grab Mike Myers mask, and he hands out Austin Powers masks before robbing the bank. And he was like, it's not what I meant.
Yeah. I remember. I can't remember the name of the movie, but I know what movie you're talking about.
Yeah. I can't remember either, but exactly.
Yeah, baby. Yeah. But
I've watched every Mike Myers, Austin Powers
Mike Myers movie.
You see the Pentaverate?
The what?
The Pentaverate on Netflix. The Pentaverate, I think is what it's called.
Oh, that one where it's like he plays all the characters again.
He plays 8 characters or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I haven't watched it yet.
Why didn't they just give us another Austin Powers movie? But
he's working on it.
I think they should do a Netflix show.
That'd be fun.
Great. But anywho, Joey, do you have any characters from horror movies that you like that aren't the bad guy?
I can't remember his name right now. I looked it up and everything, and now I can't even remember.
What movie?
Just like your dad. That's great.
It was from the Silent Hill movie. The main character, that like
Oh,
the
Sean
male-
Bean, the only movie that Sean Bean doesn't die in.
Exactly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Because he goes back into the fog at the end of that movie, so we're not 100% sure.
and we won't know because
Well, they made 2, but he wasn't in that one. Or was that 2 that he goes back into the fog?
That was 2.
Yeah.
that's how
So he goes back into the fog to be with his dead wife, and
and everything.
So that was the
The
movie where
first one
Sean
ends
Bean
with
doesn't
him
die.
with the truck, and then they get in the truck and everything ends there because it's
Because Kit Harington is in the second one too.
yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah, the Silent Hill movie I think was like it was one of my favorite. Was I think one of the only video game movies that were good. It's like
The second movie was better than the
decent.
first one.
Yes, I can agree with that. But usually whenever they adapt movies into like
games to movies,
it
pretty
always
bad.
doesn't work.
Which I could never understand that because it's a pretty close medium.
Okay, this kind of goes off topic of how we're supposed to talk about the main character, but they did Pyramid Head really well. In that movie, they made him a lot more horrifying than he was in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have some. I don't know what we are considering horror, but one of my favorite characters in a horror thing is I'm trying to remember his name, but if you consider those the Scream knockoff movies, what were those called?
Scary Movie.
Scary Movie.
Yeah.
Take a hold of my strong hand.
Oh yeah, the baby hand. Here, it's some mashed potatoes.
But then I mean, there's been so many, like I said, but you had mentioned about Sydney, and I think she was one of the only ones that lived. Like a lot of times, you'll have the last girl, and then they bring her back in the next movie, and she gets killed right away. Where Sydney actually keeps surviving and keeps surviving, sort of like Nancy from.
Yes,
she keeps surviving and finding ways to beat Freddy, and so that's probably from when I was a kid, like one of those first ones. I don't know if this would really count, but what's his name? Johnny from the Friday 13th movies, but doesn't he become Jason later on?
Yeah, he does for a while, but then they knock the spell off because he he does for a while. Then he goes back to just being Johnny again.
Yeah,
because then he's the one who truly ends Jason.
Well, until he goes to space.
Yeah, but that movie was kind of really weird.
We'll get into. Go ahead.
I want to comment because Phil was mentioning actual actors, and I referred to the goofy doofus character of the horror films that you always have, and I realized one of my favorite actors that would cast as that is Bill Paxton. From Predator 2 and Aliens. He was always doing the goofy doofus.
He's the only person to ever be killed by a Predator, an Alien, and a Terminator.
Yep, yeah, exactly.
So, there we go.
And 2 of those movies, Arnold was in.
Well, yeah, but he was the only one. But that was another person I was thinking about. If you consider at least the first Alien movie was probably a horror movie, but Ripley, because she, that was just the quintessential final girl. So, and then of course you can go through tons of episodes of American Horror Story. There's tons of good characters on there that aren't killers. But anywho, we've been on for 2.5 hours, so it's probably a good time to stop.
Sure, Joe Rogan, we can keep going.
Hey. Well, you usually pull a spec.
No, my phone's about to die, but I'm not doing it.
Right. But anywho, so we're gonna get ready and say goodnight. Does anybody have? So I mean, I have some things but I'm trying to save some of them for later, closer to Halloween, about a horror topic for next week.
Oh yeah,
you got one, Phil?
Oh yeah.
All right, hit us with it.
let's go ahead and throw it out there. Let's go ahead and throw the gauntlet and say what horror franchises actually made it and which ones should have stopped at one.
Good choice.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Because there's some.
That's going to upset some Karens out there. Woo!
Oh yes.
I was going to say one word, and then we're going to walk away on what he just said. Warlock.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that, now you have to stay. You have to come back next week so you can find out which horror franchises should have been killed after their first movie.
Exactly.
Good night. Have a good week.
Let me say something real quick, if you don't mind.
Go right ahead.
Just real quick. I want to say that Hell of a Show is back. If you have not been paying attention out there, the show is up and running. It is on Friday nights so far. That date will be changing in November because I'm already booked all the way through October, but I'll be changing the day of the week. This Friday, Hell of a Show is even hotter than normal because I am actually doing a colleague friend a favor on this and bring him on. So it's going to be a double-sized show. The two guests that are going to be on there regular is going to be Nandor Fox Schaefer this Friday, along with Aaron Pohara. Every time. I don't know why I have so much trouble with that last name. But they'll both be on there for one segment on there. And then I will be bringing on Henri Compton, the Unstoppable Man. We will talk to him about his run of stuff on there and why he keeps selling out of every flipping book he's got at every con he goes to.
What time is your show on Friday nights?
Show starts at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I try to run the shows about an hour or less because I'm trying to shorten them down from what they used to be. Used to, they were 2 and 3 hours long. I'm not that long-winded anymore. I am very old and need my bedtime and my back pills. So, and Geritol to remember these things. So this show will be about 2 hours is what I'm looking at on here. So 7 o'clock, and then we'll be finished up around 9. But be looking forward to it. Have some fun with it. It is going to be a high-powered, high-energy show. Get ready for that one. And more information about other shows in the future on that one as well. So don't miss that.
Nice. I think we'll be double dipping with Henri on Friday night because he is also booked to be on my show.
There you go.
Later in the evening. And we also am going to have John Westhoff on the show. So that is at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday evening.
Very nice.
Check that out. Do you have anything coming up this week, Jonathan?
No, I'm just working on my Conan meets Mad Max screenplay. So I'm happy to talk about how insane that whole situation is that I've been working on.
So you have no improv date set up?
Not yet. My next improv date is with you guys.
Oh,
we'll be doing that next. Some extreme improv.
Reading books.
He already improved that he's reading books. Don't you realize that?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm on point.
He just looks at the pictures and tries to guess what the story is. That's why he always wants me to tell him what the book was about, so that he can try to fill it in.
There you go.
All right, Joe. Do you have anything this week, Joe, that you're doing? Are you going to be on any other live shows? Are you gonna be on a movie premiere this week?
He's got another live sale at the convenience store that he's going to try to pawn off some.
Are you gonna be live from Walmart?
No, I don't have anything planned so far. I am thinking about starting my the Kickstarter for the comic that I've been working on for a couple years now.
Nice. Awesome.
Yeah, I just gotta talk to you about how to get that all set up. So.
Yeah.
Well, if your dad is in the comic book, please draw him with his mustache, facial hair situation.
Yes.
So you making fun of my handlebar mustache?
I'm making fun of it. I just think it'd be great to see that in a comic book.
Hey, I'm not going to say anything bad about it. I don't want to end up on the railroad, tied up or something like that for a locomotive.
It's my snively whiplash.
You hear? Yeah. Where's your money?
Oh yeah, where's the money? I now I just need a dog that laughs like.
Exactly. You need a Muttley.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dog
Wow,
enough.
Joey didn't like you making fun of me. See
No,
that?
he didn't like that. No.
Oh,
Just
I'm
left.
sorry, Joe.
All right, everyone have a good week. Make sure everyone sticks around for a minute, and good